Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Joe Cappers. Good evening, Grub. Good evening, Ken. Everybody, Brandon. Everybody coming in. Welcome to the show. Kit Kat, welcome. This is CmdrAleon. Hey, Gerard, good to see you. And a little bit later, we have a video coming out of a place in Poland, a recording done in Poland. That is of a armada of spaceships that were seen by people in this town or small city in Poland. We'll be showing that a little bit later on our UFO video news. You're watching Encounters. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. Worldwind, good to see you. Catherine, Renee, good to see everybody joining through an invite. Good to have you, Renee. Hey, Cleo, Sebastian. And we're getting into Wednesday. Real Deal Steel, good to have you back. Real Deal Steel, Real Deal is going to be my first guest. And we're going to have him back on here. He had a lot to share with us. And because of the thing with TikTok, we have to always make sure that nobody, when I have guests on, is doing any vaping on the screen, or else I will be taken down by the algorithm. So make sure if you want to be a guest, you're not drinking anything on screen, you're not smoking anything. Make sure the smoking's out. No foul language, no kids on the show, no paranormal discussion, no politics, no religion. Those are my key rules of Encounters. And as long as everybody follows the rules, we'll have a great show. All right? So welcome to another edition of Encounters for a Wednesday night. Also, please follow me and go to my link on my bio to connect with my YouTube channel. We are almost caught up with past shows. I think we're like maybe one or two shows behind. I'm not quite sure yet. But thank you for all being here. We definitely are happy to have you and supporting the program. And we're continuing to make strides every day. And more people are coming in every night when we come in here. So if you're coming through TikTok and you're seeing us, why not stop in, relax, take a little breath, and you'll be watching a show that's about spiritual areas of the UFO phenomena. Everything from contactees, abductees, Antarctica. We talk about the space cities in the oceans. We talk about all the things that the major media will not touch. We talk about it here. We interview people with experiences here. So we're going to get started. And we're going to get into what's happening here. And I see a bunch of folks here. Peace, love, and light. Mid something. Birds in flight. Good to see you. Saturday night's going to be great. I've been really guided to be that in that area. I think my friend April, Friends with Furries, will be joining me Saturday night. I think we'll be having her on to Saturday night. There's a lot to share. April is my friend that goes off planet up in Vermont for a lot of times, hundreds of times. So good to see everybody. And as I said the other night, we talked about positivity and what a light worker is. So I'm being really guided to make sure there's no negativity on this show. This is actually a show, not a free-for-all TikTok where people are just talking with each other. We're actually doing a show. So on the show, we're making a new policy to make sure that if there's any negative people in here or negative comments, they will be muted. And then if they continue to be negative, they will be blocked, which I think is right, which I think is fair. We have no time for all that stuff. There's too many bigger things happening here. Hey, Half Pint, good to see you, sister. I hope you're doing well. We think of you guys always, you and Ray. I hope you're doing. Hey, Days, good to see you, brother, always. Good to see you, Days. Teresa, everybody come. Good evening, Bonnie. Hey, Tessa, Rachel, everybody coming in here. Welcome. We're almost at 100 people now. We're at 99. We just hit 100. Yep. And I decided I'm setting really strong boundaries because it is a show, and it's not like other TikToks where people get on and if they disagree with somebody or whatever, they just go at it. It's not happening here. So we're putting down boundaries on the show and putting the light hammer down, so to speak. Hey, yes, you are. Thank you for the roses. We appreciate you, brother. Brokeback Bob, good to have you with us. Real Deal Steel is going to be our first guest. Real Deal Steel's got a lot to talk about, and we're going to go to him right now. So you don't want to miss this. Let me go backwards here. And we're going to have him introduce himself. A Real Deal, you're going to have to give everybody coming in a little bit of a background here of your experience. You know, I'm going backwards. And let me see, where is he? He's here somewhere. We're going to have Real Deal Steel on here. We're just getting into some really cool stuff with him. And then, you know, yeah, so he's not vaping. He knows. We're going to bring him on here, though. He's not going to be vaping. Let's see here. And I'm bringing him up right now, my friend. Real Deal is going to be coming up here in just a moment. And we're going to be providing you with information you've never seen anywhere before with my friend Real Deal Steel. And Real Deal, come on up. You should be able to come up. I just sent him a real deal. I just sent him a guest request here on Encounters. Let's see, where is he? Real Deal, you there? Hey, Renee, thank you for the gift. We appreciate it. Oh, Real Deal sent the lightning bolt. Real Deal, we want to get you up here, man. What's happening? Let's see here. Okay, well, hopefully we'll be. How Ancient Aliens was good. I'll be getting the picture. I've had a little bit of a problem downloading it, but I'll be getting the picture where I was talking to them. Well, when I was talking to them, that's one thing. But after I talked to them, I got a picture with Giorgio and everybody from Ancient Aliens. I'll be showing it as soon as I get it. Let's see here. So hopefully Real Deal can come up here. Yeah, Broken Back, we do too. Real Deal, try to come up on the guest icon unless you've been blocked from doing it. I have no problem bringing you up here on my side. I don't know if they did something to you. Let's see, Lupita. I got one with them, says, let's see here. Coda, welcome. Welcome. Hey, Brandy, thank you. On phone, send request. Oh, you're on the phone? Oh, you're on the phone. Okay, I'll send the request here. Okay, now I can bring you up. You're on the phone. You weren't on the phone before. Now we got it.
Okay, I'm live, bro. I don't know what's up with this computer. You know what the deal is, and this is what scares me. And I'm not going to tell you a site that was on, but it would make TikTok look like a joke as a surveillance tool. I'm going to tell you, it was way ahead of what I thought. It's a long time ago, but for some reason the computer doesn't seem to be as powerful as the phone for some reason. I don't know why, but it's a work.
Well, the phones always work better for TikTok. It's just the way it is. But
we is it back. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I got you.
So I'm going to bring you back on camera.
Gotcha.
And, because there's a lot of people coming in here. Just give us a brief description of your background.
Okay.
And then let's really get into stuff that is really going to be stuff that nobody knows about regarding what's happening.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
All right. And here's my friend Real Deal.
Yeah, okay, basically, I'll tell you to go back into my past, okay? I was in the Navy for 6 years of search and rescue. And, I mean, like I said, I've flown off of amphibious. I flew off the land. I was stationed in Pensacola, Florida. And so I've had a military background. I've flown in helicopters. I've been on aircraft carriers, and I've seen a lot of military equipment. And once I got out, I started working for the airlines. And I worked for Delta. So I continued for many years with that, then decided I want to get an education, became a machinist. So I machine parts for DOD. And I also had an affinity and to learn things. Well, I learned a lot off the internet when it first started. You know, I consider the internet really starting around 98, but full power. it evolved. Cell
Yeah.
phones were, crap. They were flip phones, and they went to BlackBerry. Then they went. Now we got smartphones. The computer system is really what it's based off of Microsoft. So all this information I was able to gather. But one thing happened when I was working. I became a machinist. I also worked with a company that did a lot of military equipment for the armoring up of the war. And it seems like 9/11 was the turning point of this entire world.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I remember all the Nostradamus sites, they literally shut down because so many people were going to his revelations.
Yeah.
So I started learning. And basically, my father also was heavy in the military. And, a lot of things happened with this UFO thing in the military. And I think that is because we had such a respect for our government at the time. We thought them to be, in the best interest of the world. And then we had all kinds of political things happen. Well, obviously, one thing that always rang with me was my father followed a man. If I've ever heard of Eric von Daniken.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Eric von Daniken. Yeah.
Well, he followed him heavy. And my dad worked with sending signals to the bombers and with SAT Command, NORAD, North American Air Defense. We worked with Canada. That's where our antennas are at. And some of them look like pyramids. So long before he died, he said, I believe deeply that the pyramids are antennas. Well, just think about it. I've watched so many specials about the pyramids. Then I found out that they resonate at 33.3 hertz or megahertz. I followed a movie that I really love. I have that movie with Jodie Foster called Contact.
Oh, that was a great movie. And it really was based.
Well, I got news for you. There are two crashes, one at Roswell, but the other one's at Magdalen, New Mexico. Isn't it kind of funny? That's where the arrays are at.
Yeah. And Magdalen, where's the geographically, how far was that from Roswell?
About equal distance. Some believe that their interest in us came because of their exploration, of course, of nuclear energy. We use it for nuclear weapons. Obviously, we went from a point of dropping gravity bombs with chemicals to basically the atomic atom. There we go.
Right.
So obviously they're very interested in us, and I believe that they must have gotten signals somehow from the Earth itself. When we test, and the Chinese test and the Russians test, we can pick up their testing through the ground. They got seismographs. I mean, they're not going to go off like a major earthquake because that's a tremendous amount of force, but they are able to tell when they test. That's how they even know when North Korea tests underground. So I believe that's what prompted them to come and wherever they're coming from. But now, the government says, hey, they're here. Well, how many of them are there and where are they from? Why are they here? There's a reason for it. And it's because, we're in a delicate structure. Our Earth can literally shut down if petroleum stops. Literally. This Earth shuts. That's it. And we go back to the, Stone Age. There won't be any nuclear power because you won't be able to change the rods. You won't be able to get coal to the coal-fired reactors. And you won't be able to move ships through the water through the, Panama Canal.
And also, no electricity on the planet would be another part of that whole scenario, correct?
Exactly. So I started wondering, okay, I don't know anything about radio signals, but there was one man that everything seems to center around. His name was Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, Nikola Tesla. Yeah, we know about him.
So come to find out, he had a lot involved with these frequencies. He believed in 369, and now I've delved into 528, and you can actually feel a resonance with these frequencies if you put your earphones on.
Yeah.
So our bodies actually resonate. So everything is revolved around, atomic energy. Our bodies are
around a frequency, or not so much atomic energy, but it's a frequency. The atomic energy is an energy, but the frequency has nothing to do with the atomic energy. The frequency is basically a vibrational pattern. So when you talk about space beings, I always talk about there are higher vibrational space beings, and where are they from? And then there's lower vibrational ones, that their frequency is way lower than the ones that are higher. And the higher ones are more spiritual, and the lower ones are less connected to that.
So that means there's different species.
Different. Well, the different species or different space beings that are. Oh, don't. Are you drinking? Oh, good.
Just water. Just
Okay.
water.
I was a little bit worried there for a minute.
No alcohol, no nothing. Just
Okay,
water. Just water.
we're good. We're good.
Just
But
water. Only
you
water.
had me going there for just a
I'm allowed to
split
drink
second
water.
there.
Yeah, I made sure I did nothing wrong this time.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
So, the frequency thing is the vibration. So, vibration and frequency, people, is that when we talk about a lot of times, I'll say when people say, what's the difference between this ET or that ET? It's
Okay.
all based on their frequencies. It's all based on their vibration. Like human beings, we vibrate on a certain level. Now on this planet, human beings all vibrate on different levels. So I would say in this room, there are humans that are vibrating at a very high frequency. There are human beings that are vibrating at just a 3D frequency. There are human beings that are going slightly above that frequency because they're waking up. And there are other humans that are just going all over the place. So I think it's just really, it's a multi-level, it's different. It's going to be different for each person, I think.
I see, yeah. Well,
You know what I mean?
How is it that they go to certain people? I deeply believe, without any doubt, there was a movie that came out about a gentleman that actually got abducted called Fire in the Sky.
Yeah. Travis Walton.
That's believable.
The movie is not correct or accurate for Travis Walton, just so people know.
Okay.
On Encounters, you need to read the book, because what Hollywood did, what they always do,
Right.
they took a true event that a person wrote about that they had happened to them. The movie showed him in like a jelly thing on the ship, and then he was taken into a hallway where glasses were floating. That's not what happened. That's just a Hollywood version to make people freak out. And that's not what he said happened. What he said happened was that he actually met space people on this particular ship, and it was nothing like what the movie presented. People need to read the book from Travis Walton.
I will.
Yeah, they fabricated the story on the movie.
Sensationalism.
Hollywood, sensationalizes things. Like, for example, if you look at The Day the Earth Stood Still, the movie, the original movie that was in black and white, is really based on a true story about a man who came from Venus to Earth, and there was a book written about him called Valiant Thor, and it was a stranger from the Pentagon, which is a true story. It's about the space, and Valiant Thor came to meet the leaders of the world, and they wanted his technology, and they wanted to know what his spacesuit was made of. So if you look at the original movie of The Day the Earth Stood Still, and the new one, and the one that came out with Keanu Reeves, which is slightly different by Hollywood, the original movie did not have what the second movie had, which they definitely, they definitely took liberty with it, and they showed this metal thing coming to start killing people. If Keanu Reeves, who played the part of the space person, didn't stop it. He did stop it. But again, this is Hollywood's version of what they think, in the second movie. In the original movie, if you look at it, there are two different things you're going to see happening. One, you're going to see nothing like that happening. And the second movie, you're going to see all this terrible stuff happening that was never intended to be in there, that was not in the original movie. Just to get people interested in the movie again, it was a terrible decision by Hollywood. And this is the problem with Hollywood. They fabricate true stories dealing with these people that have had experiences.
Right.
And, they always do it,
I agree. Yeah, I know. It's I like Hollywood. It is also good food for thought. And there is something I like to see happen in the future if we get to that point. And I know it's involved in it. It's going to be astronomical. It's going to be beyond even what Elon Musk is doing with SpaceX. The bottom line is this. I want to make this clear, okay? This is just plain old laws of physics. Elon Musk is putting rockets up there. There's no question. China's doing a good job. Even if we could get back into it, what is the problem with using a rocket?
Well, first of all, when we talk about rockets, because of my connection with my space people, what we're using is very primitive. What we think is a big leap from the days of the Apollo
Right.
thing is very, very primitive in
I
terms
know.
of a pencil-shaped ship going in skies.
Right. Well, there's two reasons. One, you're carrying your own fuel in weight. That's
Right.
already limiting you to go anywhere. Second, take a pencil or take a drumstick and try to balance it on your hand. There you go. And that's what happened to his rocket. And for some reason, I've asked him 100 times, Elon, why did it blow up? Basically, either your gimbal off or his gyroscopes screwed up. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened to a lot of rockets back in the early days. They used gyroscopes
Mm-hmm.
to keep it balanced. Well, also, you're carrying all that weight. You're limited by space. Now, I'm going to get to something I'm not going to ask you to believe it or not. My boss helped me with ceramics. I was dealing with armor. And there's three different types of armor we use. Use aluminum oxide, silicon carbide, or boron carbide. Their plates are very fragile. Well, I managed to do a lot of engineering. I have my hands deep into it. And he worked for Union Carbide. And he was asked to bring plates and shown something at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. I think you may have heard of Diglocka.
Yes, a little bit. Yes.
What do you think it is?
Tell us? What do you think it is?
It's an engine. It's a motor. And the reason I think it's a motor, there's a gentleman named Robert Lazar, Bob Lazar, who worked on reverse engineering. And he talked about an element which is almost identical to what was in Diglocka. And
Mm-hmm.
Diglocka was basically motors that I believe Hitler found, and I've got video of them. And I've got a video which fits perfectly because it's yellow, and most film back then was cellulose.
Mm-hmm.
And this long a period of time, it's trying to break these chains at the place called the hinge.
Mm-hmm.
The hinge was used to try to learn how to manipulate it.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the United States got their hands on it. There's no question. There's a gentleman named Hans Kammler. And I saw some of the old footage and the old documentaries. I saw the bodies of the Jewish murdered.
Right.
He assassinated all the scientists. He assassinated all the slave labor. And I believe he took off in a very large transport. And guess where it ended up? United States hands.
Right.
Now,
Do you think that was reverse engineered technology like in Area
let me get to a
51?
point. This is very important.
Yeah.
You go out and right now you get yourself an Acura TSX or maybe even Elon Musk's car. How are you going to produce that or create it in 1886?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create something that's probably so far advanced because it was found in Antarctica. And there's a lot of people in Antarctica right now. I've heard there's some sort of thing underneath of it. And I believe that I've also heard that we reverse a lot of technology to have what we have today. And most of that goes to transistors, which I'm talking to you on a phone or my TV.
Right. But let me ask you something, because last
Yes.
night we were getting into something really important. I want to get back to something more cosmic with you.
Okay.
You were on a road in a field, and
Yes.
and this is where we ended up.
Yes.
We need to
Yes.
get into that. We need to get really into that. And you said,
yes,
I want to know what happened to you.
That's where I'm going to go back to what we just started to talk about, resonating.
Right.
I put everything in a Faraday cage. That's basically, you can buy one right now for $15 online. It'll shield any signal. Say, for instance, you're being tracked and they got satellites in outer space. You got NSA or CIA. It'll find you down to, within 9 feet. You can't find anything when you put it in a Faraday cage. Basically, it blocks out radiation, signals, everything. And this goes back to my time when I was in the Navy. Submarines that we have are extremely invisible. The Russians, you can find them anytime. So we've got the most advanced technology. So the same thing. If they were tracking with satellites, even submarines, they're not going to find us. But these entities found me in 45 minutes.
Yeah. And where were you? Can you give a little background to my audience when the
I was up
entities
there
found you?
If you go to Charlestown, you basically leave Frederick. You go across the bridge at Harper's Ferry. That's Civil War area, by the way. It's very historical. It's part of the Civil War of Gettysburg. Yeah, they stored advanced weapons there to move to Gettysburg. That's why maybe, the North won, because they had all the industrial capability. So basically, that area is all a museum area, and you can't build there, but it's very historical, and it's been in all the the historical books. You can look at it called
Hmm.
Antietam Battlefield of Gettysburg. Antietam, you got Manassas, and I'm living that area. So I'm only about like 20 minutes from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where the Civil War was fought. So if you follow 340 up, you hit Charlestown. And then if you take Route 9, it'll take you straight to Martinsburg. It was a brand new highway made about 15 years ago. And it's a very fast route to get there. So most people travel that way. And then they hit Route 81. Now, the thing is, Route 81 passes by a place called Mount Weather. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
No.
Take a look at Mount Weather. Yeah, it's a pretty secret base. I didn't even know it was there. Mount Weather is part of FEMA and other things. I have no idea what goes on there, but I don't think you're going to get close to the gate. It's a government area, and next to that is a big dish that's used by NSA. A lot of government land there. And government branched out towards West Virginia and Virginia, and it's all over there. But I was just basically leaving. I left a club that I know and said bye to my friends and said, I'm not going to pay for a motel. I'm just going to go sag out. So I'm running over here and I just go to crash over. And there's a spot right there where people can park, park and ride. And by the field, and I decided to just crash out there. And behind there is an apple orchard. And I'm just crashed out. And actually, I opened up the windows. It had been rainy. It was a little bit, warm. Up here it's muggy. And the cloud basin was about 200 feet because it had been raining.
Yeah.
And I'm just kicked back, and then I hear this rustling, and I shine my little flashlight over there out through the window, and there's the two little deer walking through there. All of a sudden, this beam drops through the clouds. It drops down.
Hmm. Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, and no sound, and just as smooth as glass. I mean, helicopters, they move slow. They really do. I don't care if they're, unless they're some corporate helicopter with no, they can retract the landing, but it's very fast. But I'm around helicopters every day here. I see them everywhere.
Right.
I can see them at the major airport. I've flown in them.
Right, you know it. You see them.
I know them.
Okay.
I've been in them. They sound. I heard one this morning. It was a Bell Jet Ranger. God, you could hear that thing coming 10 miles away. I get
Right.
I get all the time. We get Black Hawks because I'm close to all the military stuff here. And that's also part of Frederick. Frederick is part of. You ever heard of Camp David?
Yes.
Okay, that's where the president used to go and make all the big deals and stuff. It's right by Frederick. So you got a lot of military presence. A lot. It's very well guarded. 270 leads right from Washington D.C. and that picks up where I go to Charlestown. Out of the clouds, this thing drops, and I'm like, this isn't real. I mean, I didn't have that much to drink. I wasn't taking any medication. All of a sudden, it drops down, and I wake up very
Right.
fast. And it comes at me, and the beam comes down. It's coming towards me. I'm like scared
Hmm.
because you're dealing with something is not human.
And it's coming directly. It's coming directly
at me,
at you.
right at me. Like it just knew where I was. Like wow.
Now, let me ask you something. As we're having this information shared,
Right.
the beam is coming at you. Does the beam go into your vehicle or around it?
It came through the vehicle. Just literally like green. And I'm in the basement where I told you those two lasers came. And the thing is, I got a laser beam right here. Literally, very
Right.
powerful. This seems like one of those green lasers. This wasn't like, our lasers.
Right.
This was a beam. And the other beam was vertical, right here.
Mhm.
And
Now
I
the
was sat
beam,
down on my bed right here. I ran to that damn door there, and I
yeah.
huddled down.
But
And then
the beam that came in the vehicle, and then we'll deal with the beam that came in your physical environment.
right.
In the vehicle, can you tell us how big this beam was? Or let's say, well, I'm looking at your face here. Was the beam wider than your body?
Oh, yeah,
Thinner?
yeah. In fact, I've used the description, and I hate to put this on. It's scary to people, but you remember Aliens too, right?
You
Where
mean
they
the alien?
Yeah, where they find
Sigourney
Sigourney Weaver. She's been
Yeah,
in
I didn't
in
like that
hyperspace.
movie, but go ahead.
Well, they were using some serious technology for that movie way back in the day.
Yeah.
By the way, because I'm a welder, that door is cut
Yeah.
with a plasma cutter. That's not fake. That's real. But
Hmm.
they made it look really good. I mean, come on, you're talking about the guy that made Titanic and all,
Right.
and that beam is how it looked. just like that beam in that robot. You want me to put it on? I can show you on TV. And
No,
this
we don't
stuff
do that, but
that's
go
why I
ahead.
say Hollywood is helpful with food for thought, but that's
Yeah,
how it seemed. And well, yes, it was a very big beam, and I can't remember what is blue color, not
a
green.
blue beam.
A blue
Okay.
beam came through here. Same thing was in here, a blue beam. And guess what? It couldn't have come through and shot through because it was by itself. We don't have that
Wait a
kind of
minute. Well,
technology.
let me tell you something. So let me slow you down a bit.
Right.
So, 'cause being a talk show host, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions too. So
I
the
wish I could.
beam,
Yes.
the beam, which is a blue beam. Let's go with the vehicle first, everybody. The beam hits him, and now if the beam you're saying it's by itself, it's separated from, it's not connected to anything, correct?
No, that came from that ship or whatever it was. It
The
was,
ship.
yeah, it was
Well, the beam came from the
triangular.
ship. Yeah.
Right. But this time it didn't have the orb with it. The one I took a video of over my house, it was at like 5 in the morning when I let my cat in. Then I got the spotting scope. Let me get my spotting scope and I'll show you. I'm not making all this up. Believe me.
Yeah.
I went for this spotting. That was the first thing I went for because I could control it. You know, you can spot things with the hunting.
Right. Right.
Yeah, there you go. There's a Tasco scope.
Okay.
That's what I saw. When I said, hey, I've got to make vision. I can't see this with the phone. I don't have
Hmm.
any, high powered cameras like, Nikon and
Yeah.
Canon. So I'm going to bring out the scope and look at it with my naked eye. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
It looked like a
Now,
Cylon ship.
when the beam, I get the strongest feeling. You might not even know this, or maybe your memory was blocked. There's no way
Okay.
that when that beam came into your vehicle that you weren't taken onto a spaceship. There's no way you were taken onto a spaceship. You just don't remember. When the beam came into your home, and as I'm listening, I read energy and I can read things. People know how I do
Wow.
this. When you had the beam come into your house,
Yes.
they took you again on their spaceship. They took you 2 times. Once in your vehicle. I'm getting this information for you.
Huh.
Second time in your home. You don't remember, but if you were put into hypnotic regression by the right people,
Huh.
you would remember everything that happened in the vehicle, and you'd remember everything that just happened to you when the beam of light, the blue beam, came in. It wasn't
Huh.
just coming in there because you have a lot of missing memory of what happened. You got to see the beam before you were
Right.
taken in both experiences. You don't
Right.
remember anything, do you? You don't remember
Yes, I do
anything.
remember one thing though that was really freaky.
Yeah.
I do remember when it beam went through, when it departed, it didn't look like a goddamn flying saucer at all or any. It looked weird. It looked
Hmm.
like something that wasn't supposed to be there.
Right.
It looked like I don't know, like a plane with a whole bunch of lights all around it, like
Yeah.
like something they took out of I don't know, an old a stunt plane movie. And I said, wait a minute, that don't
Hmm.
make sense. What the hell's a stunt plane doing here? You got low cloud base. It's 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the morning. I'm in West Virginia.
Morning.
There's
Yeah.
nothing. There's nothing. There isn't even a car on the road because
Yeah.
basically it's nobody's out. It's a living area. Um, the wildest part is it's very lived in down towards Charlestown. I'm on the
Yeah.
way Route 9, and if you go another 8 miles, you'll hit Martinsburg, which is very highly populated. It's
Yeah.
right off the major highway. But I'm thinking
Right.
to myself, wait a minute. I wasn't scared. I was
You weren't,
ready to run. I was
and
ready
you
to
you
run.
you and you were in a field at that point, as I remember last night. You were in a
Yes,
field,
yes,
and that's
yes.
when the beam came down into the field.
Yep,
And I remember everything that you talked about.
yep.
So the beam comes, folks, into the field who are watching the show here, and as I am speaking with you, I did some inner guidance. I get information my guests when they tell me their stories. So the question would be, when you were taken both times, do you have any markings or anything that you can remember that you didn't have before the beams came down? That'll tell me a lot of things. So a marking would be, if you were abducted without memory, there should be some markings. It could be on your arm, it could be on your shoulder. So you want to do, not tonight, but you want to check to see if there's any markings where there shouldn't have been any markings on your body. And if you have
Okay.
markings, that tells me, well, I only know this, that you were taken twice, and maybe more times that you don't even remember, at least twice, that they let you remember there was a
Hmm.
beam coming at you physically in your vehicle. Now, everybody watching this, understand something. If a beam of light is coming from a spaceship which was above him, It's not coming down to show you, hey, here's a beam of light. We love you.
Mhm.
Have fun, right?
Right.
The beam of light, if they can track you and the beam can come through your house physically into your room,
Oh yeah.
they're able to take you out of your house without you
Okay.
even hitting the ceiling.
I
That's
definitely
how
believe it.
that's how it happens. And
Yes.
so you had been taken at least twice. At least I'm getting that really strongly. I don't know. I do believe they've been taking more than twice, but there's just not a memory of additional times when you've been taken. They would just come twice and say goodbye. We're not interested. It's like Rodolfo says, it's like a tractor beam. The tractor beam, this blue beam comes through your house. So the
Right.
beam can lift you out of your physical environment and take you onto that spaceship. It's exactly what they did to you. The question is, we don't know who they are, you know?
Okay. Well, they obviously are not, threatening because I don't remember any other than being terrified of seeing what I saw because, let me explain, the 15th of August, 2024, it was up there.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I decided to go over to, Charlestown area. And then that's the 18th because it was actually Saturday, early into Sunday morning at 4 a.m. So it was the 18th. And
Hmm.
I marked those dates because, how can you forget something that's serious? But I also remember that there's no way you could track me. And there's something else I did because basically my boss, Rod, worked with my dad. All of our Japanese cars are so good because of an ECU. Do you know what that stands for?
ECU, my audience and I
I'm
don't think
ready
I
to
do. I
open
don't
up
know
a
what that is.
serious door, bro. Big time.
What's ECU?
ECU stands for Electronic Control Unit. It is the computer. If you have an import, just let me know. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not any better than American, but you notice American cars, they dropped off real fast. They had trouble. They
Hmm.
weren't running like a Nissan or a brand new Toyota.
Hmm.
Well, that's because of the ECU. And why can't the Chinese copy it? Because they seal it like a microchip. Otherwise,
Hmm.
the Chinese will copy that in a second. Inside your car is a plastic box called an electronic control unit. That's why Japanese cars run so efficiently and they keep running because it keeps
Yeah.
all the timing of your vehicle. It's tied into your motor. It had all to do back in the days with emissions and all this. But you know what? Japanese got it down right. And I covered that up. I completely shielded it, so they couldn't track me there either. I don't care if the CIA had a satellite, you know,
Right.
at 10,000 feet up. They could not find it because I shielded it. I mean, damn sure
Wow.
I shielded it. I had a lot of issues with these terror chicks. They were just following me around, always bugging me. And I finally gave that up, and I just said, this is done. I'm done. Um,
Wow.
I just wanted to hear if they had. They sounded like they really had psychic abilities. They don't.
Mhm.
But what I
So
do,
how
yes,
But
sir.
do you feel with the beams of light, when they did this to you, because I know they blanked out your memory from the experience that you had twice, one with the
Mhm.
ship, and then when you say this other thing with the lights happened,
Right.
these ships can morph into anything they want to morph into. So what you're seeing is probably a ship that was able to change its visuals to you to make you think something different.
Right.
So
Right.
understand that just what's happening today with the sightings around the world, where people saying, "Oh, they saw what they call a drone. They thought it was a drone, and then the drone turns into a spaceship." How does that happen? How does a drone morph into a spaceship? Everybody, how does it happen? Does
Okay.
anybody know?
Here's something. I want to say this very important. Again, food for thought. Um, very important too, because I was following Schwarzenegger on the TikTok. His first movie really impressed the hell out of me. With the alien thing was a predator. When you control gravity, you
Right.
can bend light. You can make something seem cloaked. No question. Oh my, the government was. Oh, it's crazy. I was in the Navy. I went up to Philadelphia. Have you heard of the Philadelphia experiment?
Are you kidding me? Let me tell you something. Do
Ooh.
you have you heard of Cameron? And there were three I've interviewed on when I did my TV show. There were four people that were involved at the Hope Air Force Base in Long Island, New York, Montauk. You know the Montauk base?
Yes.
Montauk Project.
Yes,
I
I heard of
interviewed
it.
those people. One of
Jeez.
them was working and had to sign a contract with the NSA, National Security. And this person and these people I interviewed, we went to dinner together in Connecticut. They came up from New York. I went
Mm-hmm.
down to Long Island. I went into a cabin where one of them, Preston Nichols, he was one of the people involved in the Montauk Project. He
Okay.
had all kinds of tube equipment in this room that was ridiculous, and he talked about what happened. There was a pyramid in one of the things on the base. There was a pyramid where they did time travel experiments. And what they did is, he told me they were able to go through time on the base. The Air Force Base at Hope Air Force Base, when it was around,
Right.
they had reptilians working with the Air Force on Hope Air Force Base, which is known as the Montauk Project. I know this
Gotcha.
firsthand. I talked to those people. I don't know how old they are now, but I over less than 20 years ago on my TV show, I went down to the island. I saw Preston Nichols, the place where he lived. Um,
Mm.
and this stuff is real. And
Oh, I
Andy, this
know.
stuff is
I believe
absolutely
you.
correct. I
I
know these
believe it. Trust me.
people, and it's
I,
real. I've been
I
there,
believe it.
and so I never tell a story unless I know what I'm talking about. I'm involved in this subject for way, way longer than people realize. And everything I know about because I've experienced it I didn't experience the Montauk Project, but
Right.
I talked to the people that did. There was one gentleman on the base, the Montauk base, for people that don't know this, they took children on the base at Hope Air Force Base. This is a true story. And I know this is true. Whether you want to believe it, I can care less.
I
I
believe
know
it.
these
I don't
people. I
believe
talked to these people. I interviewed these people. We had dinner together. Okay.
it. Yeah.
So you're going to learn something here from me because
Thank you.
we went out to the Montauk base during the winter. Three of us during a blizzard. We came. My friends were with me. They were from out west, and one of them said, "We have to go down to Long Island." I said, "You're kidding me? It's a blizzard." When I got now, I couldn't believe it. The Long Island ferry was running from Connecticut during the blizzard over to
Okay.
Long Island. It was on my better judgment. I ended up going to Long Island on a ferry in a blizzard, and we drove out to Montauk to this base. As
Mm.
we got out to the base, we see that this base that's not operational has a guard station hooked up to it with a person in there with lights on for a
Oh,
base that's totally inoperational.
you
Now,
know.
I want to explain something to everybody here because many of you don't know this. I do. I saw video footage that you're never ever going to see on VHS ever, but I remember everything here. And I'm going to tell you, on the Montauk base, which I was, so the video that Preston Nichols showed us, they had the VHS tapes. They went into the base before years later it was closed off. When they
Right.
went into the base, there were wires, new telephone wires, in this big room where they used to have radio controls and stuff. These
Mhm.
wires, when they videotaped it, were brand new installed wires that went below the base at Hope Air Force Base. Now, let me
Mm.
tell people something. Where do you think those wires are going? To an unoperational base.
I
Okay?
don't know.
Where do you think those wires are going?
I
Okay?
have no idea.
Those wires are going to an operational underground base, and the Hope Air Force Base was shut down because something came through it that wasn't supposed to come through it. This is based
Mm.
on my interviews with Preston Nickel, Cameron
Okay.
Duncan, and the other people that we had dinner with. They told us everything that went down. These people were involved in these projects. I met them. Maybe they're not alive anymore, but I met them
I believe
then.
you. I believe
And
you.
what
Trust
I'm
me.
telling people here, you can take it to the bank, either that or you can
Yes.
disregard the story. But
I
now I'm
believe you.
giving you information that I've never revealed on the show before
Thank you.
because I know this stuff and people need to know the truth. And I'm all about busting the matrix. Now, if you want to go in la la land and say, "Oh, he's making it up," I'm not
No,
making
no.
anything up.
No, you have to
Not you
see.
personally. I'm not talking to my audience.
Right, right. They need
You
to
know what I
watch
mean?
Dulce Mountain. You ever heard of Dulce Mountain in New Mexico?
Yeah,
Okay, the guy got his fingers cut off. They've had doctors. The doctors at that time used lasers. They said, we never seen a cut like this.
yeah.
That's,
You
I mean,
know,
come on, that's it right there. If a doctor uses a laser, and this is back, I think it was in the 90s, and he showed his fingers, he said, well, that's a hell of a cut. Can't do that now. What's that tell you? Number
right.
two, I got a high, it's called an HSS end mill that can cut through armor of steel used on tanks. If you try to use that to cut the stones I told you at Pumapunka, it
Yeah.
blows it apart. Those stones were cut at perfect right
Yeah,
angles.
precision. Right.
We cannot do that. They don't tell me the pyramids alone have stones that weigh 1,200 tons
Yeah, it's
in the
crazy.
center.
But let me just finish one part of this story. We'll move
Yes, sir.
on to. But I
Okay.
need people to hear this story since we're talking about this.
Yes.
Under the base at Hope Air Force Base, which is not well, the government will tell you it's not operational. Part of the area is not fenced off. It's now a park. People
Right.
can go jogging, whatever. The fenced off area is the Air Force Base itself. It's fenced off. Now, for a base that's not operational, for a base that's abandoned,
Correct.
why would you have the base fenced off? And why would you have a guardhouse at the entrance of the former Hope Air Force Base if the base is not operational?
Security.
So let me get back into this for a minute. So these telephone wires that were installed go down below the base.
Right.
Why do they go below the base? There is an active operation. I called it the Area 51 of the East Coast. This base is operational below ground. Surface-wise, everyone's supposed to think it's not happening. People
Right.
can go jogging outside the base on the park area, and it's
Correct.
it's all good.
Yeah.
Underground, folks, it's operational. How many people have heard of Plum Island?
I heard
Anybody?
of it,
How many
where they
people?
did all the animal experiments.
Let me tell you something. I talked to the director of the United States Department of Agriculture. Now, how many people? How many people? Let me ask this question. How many people out there know who operates Plum Island? Who's involved? Who's the operational team? Who in the government is in charge of Plum Island? Anybody know?
I have no idea.
Here's a test. How many of you out there know who is in charge of Plum Island? Nope. United States Department of Agriculture. I couldn't believe it. USDA is controlling Plum Island. Let me tell you about Plum Island. And let me tell you about Montauk, Long Island. Plum Island is off the coast of the end of Long Island, okay? It's between New London, Connecticut, and to Greenport, New York. I went on a ferry past Plum Island. I talked to the director of the USDA. He lives in Long Island. Nice guy. I was going to do years ago, when I was doing my TV show, I wanted to go to Plum Island because I heard rumors that there were things related to UFOs and ETs going on at Plum Island. So I wanted to try to prove that they were lying, that the government was hiding something. Now, to my better judgment, luckily I went into meditation. My better judgment was, no, I better not go there. They told me if I went to Plum Island, I have to take a shower, and then I have to, take a shower, put a suit on because of what's going on there, and then I can do my videotaping. And then before I would leave, I'd have to do the same thing, take a shower, and come back.
Right.
So when I heard those things, I said, this is not a good idea for me to go there. If I come back, I'm going to catch something. Something's going to be done to make sure that I never tell the truth. So I listened to my own inner meditation guidance, and I decided, even though I was invited to go to Plum Island, I made the best decision of my life to never go there because I didn't have to go there. I learned later on. I know what I know. I know that Plum Island is a multi-level facility, just like below Montauk at the Hope Air Force Base. Plum Island and Hope Air Force Base, below the Hope Air Force Base, is the East Coast operations for what we call the East Coast Area 51. It is. They're not just doing experiments with poisons and other things. That's a cover for what's really going down. Now,
Correct.
I'm telling you this stuff, which to me is a revelation, and it might be even top secret. But I'm going to tell it to you anyway, because you need to know the truth.
Thank you.
And I kept this stuff to myself for years until tonight. And now I'm really telling the story.
I've been involved in a long time.
Right. So you know what I'm talking about. And you're in the military.
Yeah.
Those two areas in Long Island, okay? And let me tell you something else. I'm going to give you some stuff here. If you're not watching this show now, you're going to miss what I'm telling you here. This is all top secret.
I love it.
South Haven Park in Long Island, Brookhaven Laboratories in Long Island, which is on the eastern side of Long Island. Many years ago, I went to do a TV show. And I went out with my wife. We went out to Long Island. And there was this group called the Long Island UFO Network. I'm going to tell you this story, okay? and this is for entertainment purposes only. If you're not watching what I'm telling you now, you're going to be missing out on information. There's nobody out there that knows this. I do, and I'm going to tell it to you. So back in 19, no, I don't have the exact year. It was November of 1990. I'm going to say late 90s. I'll have to do let me just give me a second here. I'm just going to do one thing here. I'm going to give you the information. Okay, give me a second here.
Take your time. Because I got a wonderful channel you need to watch called the Y-Files.
Let's see here.
Wow.
This is going to be
I learned so much from the Y-Files.
UFO crash, South Haven Park, Long Island. Let's see here. It was in 1992, okay? That's all I need is the year. So this was in 1992. The Long Island UFO Network, which does not exist anymore, existed then. We went out, and I have videotape here that I got out before this person was put in prison. He was the head of the Long Island UFO Network. Okay. He had information being leaked out to him by a defense contractor. Information, video footage, stuff that was top secret. I got some video footage that was given to me before this person was taken. He's still alive. He's in upstate New York somewhere in a prison. Let me share something with you here. Okay?
Yes, I believe you.
There was a laser beam, a particle accelerator beam at Brookhaven Park, which is adjacent to South Haven Park, which is a big park. And there's a fenced area where trains can come in and out. Inside the fenced area is Brookhaven National Laboratories. Anyone here of Brookhaven National Laboratories? Anybody out there watching my show heard of it?
Brookhaven.
Okay, I'm telling you, I'm going to give you more information here. Give me a second.
Yep, Brookhaven National Laboratories.
You know, I'm gonna spill the beans on all this stuff right now. Okay.
Go for it, man. Go for it. Because it could be the Y-Files. I watch it all the time. I don't know where the hell he gets that information, but wow, this guy is the place to watch. The Y-Files.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna spill some beans here. South Haven Park is where a large spaceship was shot down. It didn't land in the area where there was a video that I didn't get, unfortunately, which I should have gotten before he was taken, which would have showed you the space people, the beings that were alive, carried in a silver bag by fire department people. Let me tell you something. This spaceship, we went out to the site with the Long Island UFO Network, and my wife and I, and this person, John Ford, we drove in vehicles to an area. We went into the woods and to an area where there were burn marks on the tree. I saw the burn marks. They were there. It was like they were there. They were just burn. The trees were faced in a certain direction. Branches were facing in a certain direction. The wires on the pole of the poles were rewired. New wires were put in. New cables were put in. We found the crash site of the major UFO that had crashed, the mothership or whatever, at this location. I'm telling you, everybody, something you need to hear here. Someone needs to tell this story. I'm going to do it right here on the show. The ship crashed, okay? They brought on a large flatbed on a road, a dirt road, into that area. They investigated this area. I didn't go on the road there. I have the videotape that shows that there was a road that the flatbed went into. When this ship crashed, I don't know how long it took them to get it, but they took the whole craft out of that road onto somehow. They got it out of there. I don't know. They must have covered it up or something. It was shot down with a particle accelerator beam. Does anyone know what a particle accelerator beam is?
That's got to be something very advanced than what we have.
Yeah, that's particle accelerator beam. It's very advanced.
Yeah.
Now, I can write a book about it. I'm going to tell you the whole story, everybody. I'm going to tell you every single thing that the public doesn't know about this. It's time. I don't care. It's time to tell it.
Okay.
So this ship crashed. The government goes in there. This what I call the secret government operations go in there.
Okay.
They get this thing out of there. They don't just shoot down a mothership. They shot down a couple other smaller ships over the park area. So once they got done, destroying these craft, which crashed,
Right.
There were beings in the park that were alive. There was one that was wearing like a spacesuit of some sort, like he was the head of the other ones. He was lying, and I saw the video before it was of them and before it was confiscated,
Okay.
probably by the government. The other being was looked like had big eyes and whatever. This particular being was in a silver zip up thing being carried by a fire department official, and this being was taken out. He was alive. I think there were a few of them that were alive in the crash. The other one was alive, but was really, battered up from the crash. I'm
Mm.
sure some of them were not even alive.
Mm.
But they took them. They had unmarked military officials. This was during rush hour. People going home.
Hmm.
They had roads blocked. People with gray outfits on, with no insignias on them,
That's
that
all.
were there that had never been seen before.
Yep.
Okay, I'm telling you a story here for entertainment purposes only. And if you're not watching what I'm telling you here, and you're somewhere else watching somebody in a clown suit, you're missing some real information. Okay, 1992 was the year. I think it was November. It was November. I don't remember what month it was, but
Mm.
there was no snow on the ground. So then this thing happens. Then there was a little bit of talk briefly on one of the local New York stations, but that didn't last very long. They probably were told to hush it up.
No.
I called Brookhaven National Laboratories as
Yeah.
I was doing my TV show. Hold on a minute. Nothing to worry about. Give me a minute.
No problem.
Okay. So I was doing my TV show in Connecticut, and I came down to Long Island, to interview John Ford about this. So we went down with the camera into the park. In the park, again, we found a yellow radiation suit that they were wearing because when this thing crashed, there must have been radiation coming from the spaceship. So, they had to wear these suits. So they didn't do a real good cleanup job because they left evidence behind. There was a radiation suit. You can see the wires that were reconnected from the crash because the wires got broken when the spaceship crashed.
Right.
There were radiation canisters that were in the area where their poles were that were not taken out of there. So we had documented I was videotaping this. We documented a radiation suit, radiation canisters, and that these wires were rewired with new wires. Why would they rewire these poles with new wires? Anybody guess? Anybody want
I
to
know
guess about
exactly
that?
why. The EMP effect messes up the structure in copper and the wires. They're not shielded from that. And same thing would happen with it's true, an EMP burst of a nuclear weapon. It screws up the atoms and all the electrical wiring. Because I used to build stuff and we had to shield it. And we usually shield it with, something that withstand a nuclear explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
great.
get this.
Creative. Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe you.
So I went deeper. Everybody who's watching this, I went deeper. I called Brookhaven National Laboratories,
Okay.
and I kind of knew they were going to tell me anything, but I got some stuff here. So the one was really nice. She says, "Oh, we don't have anything like that here. We don't have any kind of weapon that would shoot down a UFO." I said, So I played along with that. Now maybe she didn't know. Maybe how like one room doesn't know what the other room's doing. It's possible she was out of the loop because she's just the public relations person. Public
Compartmentalized.
relations official is what you nice lady, no information. I also got information that the CIA, okay, I'm going to give you some stuff here. They had captured, well, they shot down the spaceship. They had captured one of the beings and brought them into a room inside the base at Brookhaven Laboratories, and they were interrogating this being, this ET.
Mm.
I only know that I know that from one of the people that had known this from somebody they knew that had top security clearance. I don't know whatever happened to the ET, but they had him at the base. Now, the public relations officials say there was nothing going on there. And, it's possible she didn't have privy to security clearance to know any of that information. She was just told what to say to the public, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is something you have to understand. There's things going on behind the scenes that the public back then and the people going home from work, they were diverted. They couldn't go down their streets. People couldn't even go in the park. The park was closed off within that period when the ship crashed. They were keeping people out of there. They didn't want anybody to see anything.
Right.
These unmarked people with the suits on, the military suits on, no insignia of the American flag or anything. These people are brought in during retrieval operations
Right.
when a spaceship crashes, whether it be in New Mexico, Long Island, New York, or South Haven Park, or it could be in Vermont, wherever it is. If they crash, you're going to see these unmarked military people out there that are going to be blocking things off until they get that craft out of there and into the hands of the government. When I say government, those that are involved in operations to basically not let the public see anything.
Yeah,
Okay,
I believe deeply, without question. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You know what a NEST team is, don't you?
I've heard
NEST.
of an S team.
Okay, NEST stands for Nuclear Emergency a Systems Tactical Team. They actually are the ones who go get a broken arrow. Actually, is a 5 megaton bomb in Tybee Island. Don't worry, it's not going to go off because
Yeah.
whatever batteries they use to set it off are long since dead. Okay. My dad had to deal with a lot. My uncle actually dealt a lot with ICBMs. He put them in the ground. He was, all my family, my dad and uncles were all in the Air Force. My one uncle, who I liked a lot, passed away. He was at Rendlesham. Yeah. He was at Rendlesham Air Force Base.
That's where the whole thing happened there in England.
Yes. And it really did happen. No question about it. I believe we were saved. I got a picture of 50 B-61 thermonuclear. I think they're about 2.5 megaton bombs that can be carried by an F-15. They don't have to be put on a B-1. They don't have to be put on a B-52. They can carry them, of course, but it can be put on an F-15. My uncle was part of the Strike Eagle program. He had more benefits than the president. I mean, when he died, this woman married him, got everything. He had every benefit you could imagine. He was a chief master sergeant of the Air Force. It takes a lot to get to that point. 40 years. He had all kinds of benefits. They had him working in the Pentagon, secret stuff with the Navy. I don't know. But he knew so many things. He probably was at Rendlesham, and something was there. Now, I believe they were there because we could have ended up in World War III, the end of the world.
So you think they were there?
Yes.
And I know
Yes.
the Eastgate book, the book that was written about it. I met the person that was also in the Air Force Base there, and he'd been at a UFO conference in Connecticut in the town away from me number of years ago.
Okay.
And it was very informative. His book is called Left at Eastgate or something. I don't remember the title, but it's all about what happened at Redstone Air Force Base. And
Yes.
and the documentaries, if you watch the documentaries on it, which are pretty cool, they show you that there are all kinds of spaceships flying all over the place there.
Oh, well, it was well documented. I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
the specials, but I know they had a high amount of radiation where it landed. Very high radiation. In fact, they still get a little radiation from it where they found it outside the base. Then they came onto the base. Then they were shooting beams. I'm going to show you a picture of what. I hold this for just so I can get the pictures. A picture of the B-61s. And, well, there's the Eldridge. But the B-61 back then was basically a silver bomb, a nuke. Have you ever seen one?
No.
I'm pulling up a picture of a B-61. It's pretty complex, and it'll take out any city. Let's put it on Google, and I'll show you what it looks like. This is what was there. And it's a gravity bomb, but it's a nuke. Okay. What I'll do is put a picture, and it'll bring it up. Okay, there it is right there. That's a B-61 right there. Let me give you an image.
The B-61, okay.
Yes, okay. That's it right there. Right there. See that? There you go.
Wow.
They got a whole city. That can be carried by a F-15 Strike Eagle. Our jets were there. Doesn't that kind of make sense? That will take out Washington, New York in a microsecond.
But the good news is, brother, is that because I work with the space people, and the people need to know this. Yeah, we're talking about this,
they definitely
which is really crucial. The space people can neutralize these weapons in 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah. No question.
Absolutely. So we have nothing to worry about.
They can control matter. They control antimatter. I don't have no fear of them. The only thing is, I'll tell you why I was scared. I was scared I was going to leave the planet. I have a grandchildren. I want to be with my grandchildren. I'm
No,
not
you will.
afraid. I mean, I'm
You'll be
not.
with
I'm
you.
not afraid of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But at the
No, you'll
same
be with
time,
them.
look at we're developing something. It's hard to believe something that you could put that in the back of a long bag pickup truck. Can you believe that?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely wouldn't want to have one in the back of my pickup truck
Oh
if I
no,
had
no,
one.
no, no. But that
I know
is
what you're saying.
real.
I'm just,
Well, I had a chance, an opportunity. I went out to see my brother. He's out in St. Louis. I stopped over at Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
yeah.
Yeah, and I went through their museum. And this was way a long time ago in the late '90s, and when he first moved there, and I looked at this I think it was a W87. I said, this thing is smaller than my refrigerator. It had a 150 kiloton yield. The bomb we dropped on Hiroshima had 20 kilotons. This had like
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
that is insane. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking we got all these weapons. Russia's got a ton of them. China's got it. They're here to save us. Because
Yeah.
if that ever went off, and I watched what they call the Y files. Oh my goodness! I don't know where he gets his information, but he's an entire server unit of information. Watch, it's called the
Right.
WF. He was talking about Dulce Mountain. He's bringing people I never heard of that were executed, killed by our government because they talked. And he also talked today about people who are going to give us carburetors that got us 150 miles to a gallon. They were shut down. Everything leads back to our banking. So I'm thinking they're watching us right now. So maybe I started getting involved in learning things and they're interested in me, and that's why maybe they took me.
So do you think that so but the thing is, and this is why I want you when you're not online here, I want you
Okay.
to check, just for the sake of peace, if
Okay.
you have any markings from since the laser beam went into you. And like I said, you were definitely taken 2 times without a question. But it doesn't seem like you feel like anything really negative happened to you, but you also don't have memory of the experience.
None, but I do have marks down here on my leg. They weren't here. I never had these 2 marks right here at my leg. Definitely not. I never had these at all. And other than that, that's the only thing I know. There was just 2 marks right here, and they don't hurt at all. But there's nothing implanted in me, and I'll tell you why. Because, like I said, I had a lot of experience of building equipment.
Okay.
I
I'll
took
go
a
with that.
degaussing coil or a magnet. If you just want to check if you have anything in you, it should resonate energy, right? So, I mean, you can check yourself with
But
modern equipment to a
but
certain extent.
But that could be from half pint. You're right. It could be that the markings are from something else, and I don't want to jump to
No, I'm
I
not going to
mean,
jump to anything.
you physically know your own physical body. If you were
Yeah.
implanted, you'd tell me, oh,
Yeah.
Commander,
I don't think it was
whatever.
implanted with anything
Yeah,
because believe me, I would find it out
yeah,
big time because I mean, I would basically just run myself over with any type of electronic equipment that picks up a signal. You can actually do that with your cell phone if you want to.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these Androids, yeah, you can pick up if you're being spied on with cameras or stuff like that. But what I'm showing you is we made an entire, it blows me away, okay? I was involved in it. I get publications still from the DoD. My dad was part of this. You know what that is?
What was your dad a part of? Can you explain that to my audience?
1957 to 1965 when he had me. Right there. They were testing at Vandenberg Air Force Base. Titan IIs. You know what a Titan II is? A doomsday weapon. It carries a
Yeah,
20 megaton warhead. Look at that. That's Lockheed Martin. We made an industry of setting up the world for Armageddon.
right.
Why?
Yeah, and where did you? And let me ask you a question. And I know there's some people like you waiting to come on here, and I just want to thank you for spending all this time.
No problem. Sir.
Where did you get the photos?
Oh, hell, my dad's had them since he was in the Air Force. You can pull them
So
up
those,
online now. They're
tho-
not secret.
those, that's okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's public information. Look at that. That's public information.
But I want to thank you, brother, for coming up
You're
here
welcome.
to give us more in-depth information. And
Yeah.
everybody, if you're a little bit confused about everything, that's okay.
Right.
But I think there's a lot to absorb here. We've jumped in a number of different areas, and
we have. But
just take a deep breath, everyone. And
Take a deep breath.
again,
Can
take time
I
to
just say
absorb it.
one
There's a
thing that
lot
I've
that was
learned?
set there.
If you get a chance, please, everybody, watch the Y files. I don't know where he's getting all the good information, but he knows. Well, he's the narrator. It's kind of a funny show with a little goldfish but he's got information I've never seen. He talked about a pyramid that's in Alaska, underground.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he learns all this, but usually if you do your background information, it usually is true. Like you were talking about with upstate New
Yeah.
York underground, same thing with Dulce Mountain. They have underground levels.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you're
You've been
right.
told
You're
that.
on the right path. There's no question about it. Government would go through all this work to
Yeah.
build dams for no reason. Government doesn't do
Yeah.
that. There's a reason
Yeah.
for everything, and it
Yep.
isn't for our protection.
Yeah. Well, you know, I appreciate you, brother, and you're right. I mean, if
Right.
people have been watching me for 3 years, I can only speak what I know. I
You're
don't
right.
go to
Uh-huh.
websites for the truth. I get everything downloaded. I've
Right.
had over 20 years of experience, like when I talked about Montauk and that
Uh-huh.
stuff. That's all real stuff that I was
Yeah.
dealing with.
I
And
heard about that island with all the animals and the crazy. I saw them. It's
yeah,
disgusting.
yeah,
They were doing
yeah,
experiments with calves and dogs, and it was terrible. Terrible.
yeah.
I mean,
All right,
imagine
brother.
that shit getting in the water. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right. Well,
I'm going to sit there and listen to you. Thank you for having me on. Thank you so much, sir.
and I'll tell you, since you have contacts in the DOD,
Yes.
I want you to do me a favor if you can.
Okay.
If you have any friendly people that have top security clearance regarding the extraterrestrials and UFOs, try to get some information from them, because I know you probably have some contacts too, right?
I do have contacts, and I would love more than anything one day to meet Dr. Greer for real, because I believe what he is doing, the way he does it, is right.
Yeah, he is.
There is a way to communicate with them. Okay, I can't talk about that on this. Our government at their highest levels doesn't know this. Only I do. Now you do, and I'm going to tell you, it's not fun. I've done it. It's not fun, but I will do it. If I could make contact with Dr. Greer, I'll explain to him. That man has
Yeah.
done it. You've heard of him, right? He's the one that was.
I interviewed Greer when he was just starting out in New Hampshire at the MUFON UFO conference
Oh
on a
God.
TV show in 1993. He was up in New Hampshire, 92, 93.
Huh.
I got him. He was in the big lobby, and we sat down. We did an interview on video. I still have the video.
Can you still contact him?
I can't contact him. He's so hard to contact. They used to have a phone number at their office. They don't have a phone number. You got to do everything by email.
Everything by email. If you ever can, I'm willing to talk to him, and it's got
Yeah.
to be man to man, face to face. I mean, no electronic equipment, nothing they can hear, because this
Right.
is real. I'm going to tell you, it's very real. It blew me. It was like hitting the lottery 10 times at the same time. And I want to
Yeah,
talk
we'll
to
have.
Dr. Greer.
You know what? And if there's something, if you know something about, I know about C5. We have a contact group. Before I let you go, we
Okay.
have an Ashtar Command C5 group. We have done positive visual contact with extraterrestrial beings of light. That's our focus. That's what we do. We don't have any negative anything. So
That's good.
we'll have to. So we'll tell you about that, and then
Thank
maybe
you.
down in the future, I'd like you to try to make contact with your people that you trust that want
Yes.
disclosure in the DoD.
Okay.
And they don't have to come on because they probably can't. But I want you to get information for us that you can
Okay.
get that they have regarding what's happening with contact from their end of it, from their perspective. All right, brother?
No problem. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
All right.
Take
I'll
care.
give you some homework to do. All right, take care. All right,
Have a
we'll
nice
bring
night.
it down.
Bye-bye.
So, you know, that's the way we operate here, you know. And I know he'll do it. I know he has friends in the Department of Defense, and I know in the future he'll come back and we're going to have some dynamite information from those in the DoD that know him that don't believe in covering this whole thing up, you know. So yeah, and so I think that's really important. We have somebody in queue. Hopefully they're still there. Maybe yes, no, yes she is. Mercy the One. So Mercy the One, we're going to take a chance on this. I have no idea who they are. Actually, before I take a chance on Mercy the One, is Mercy the One here? Because last night I brought somebody up at the end of the show, and it wasn't anything that was, you know. Thank you, Yvette, and I hope everyone enjoyed the conversation. We're going to bring him back soon. He's just, now he's a friend of the show. He's my friend, and, you know, he's got contacts. He was with the Navy, and I think we're going to have some future information from him. And that's what we're here about. We're here about, and you've known me for 3 years. We've had, you know, Shy used to be on here. She was the DOD. She had top secret clearance. You know, I'm going to bust the matrix, and I do it every time, you know. The people that come on here are people having real experiences. And whether you understand it or not, that's okay. It's just the way it is. Like my friends Half Pint, they have contact on the other side of it with the Anunnaki. They're being contacted constantly since I've known them. And that contact has gotten even more elaborate. I'm sure it's not like just, oh, we're just going to, let you see us once in a while. They've been having constant connections with the Anunnaki, and I know them well, Ray and Mary, and they're beautiful people. And they've seen all ends of the ET spectrum in their contacts. But the Anunnaki have done such amazing things. And they're one of the people, just like my friend April and Ray and Mary. These are people and other people I've had on my show that are contactees. I use the word contactee because these people are really having documented contact, and that should be respected by everybody around the world. When someday a book is written, there'll be people that have been on my show that had direct contact with positive space people, and they're going to have to write a book, a story about their contacts, and tell their grandchildren and their kids and the whole planet, and that's why it's so important that we need to see the bigger picture of all these people around the world that are contactees and look at the bigger picture, which is that there's something major happening here. There's something extremely major happening on planet Earth, off planet Earth, in planet Earth, Antarctica, up in the Himalayan mountains, inside the mountains. There are things that are happening. And if we get distracted too much, we're going to miss the cosmic boat. You see what I'm saying? If we get distracted by the little things, the petty little things, we're going to miss the bigger picture. And I'm not about to miss the bigger picture. That's why I'm here to do what I do and to expose and disclose the truth. And all my guests that have experiences, whether it be being abducted by lower vibrational ETs or people that are having beautiful experiences, I allow all of that to be heard because somebody has to be the place where these people can talk. I'm never sidetracked. I don't fall off the cosmic rope. I don't fall off the mountain. You'll never see me do that. I'm very focused on every single thing I do. I can care less about all the little things. There's something way bigger and way more important than whether one person, whatever. I just tell people in the world, get over it, grow up, That's what I tell people. And I love all of you, and that's why I shared the story about the Hope Air Force Base and what I know there. There are things under the base. There are medical things that were actually put under a tunnel below. I had somebody on when I was on an FM radio station, a rock station in Connecticut. They called me up. They were on the Hope Air Force Base. They have one, those things they take off the road to get inside to the below the road. What are those things? Those round things, you go over them? Not potholes, they're those round things. I don't know what they're called. But anyway, the person said they went out with a few people. They pulled the thing open, and there were medical things, not the rotary, a manhole. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you very much. Yeah, a manhole. The manhole's on the base. They opened it up. They found there was medical equipment inside where the manhole was. There was a long stretch of area that was an underground tunnel with all this equipment that had been left there at Hope Air Force Base. And these guys found it. They came on my show when I was on a commercial rock station. They came on the show and they told us what was there. It was a pretty amazing story. So there's a lot of things we need to disclose here. There's a lot of things we need to speak of. And as we go more and more into things, everything needs to be revealed. All the stuff that was done that should have never been done needs to be revealed. All the good things that are going to happen needs to be revealed. Now, whether people believe that we're going to have a physical contact with people from other worlds, hey, we have a planet of billions of people here that can believe whatever they want, Yeah, let's see. So all these things. So yeah, I mean, everybody, life on planet Earth is precious, no matter. And human life, whether it be human life through wars, through battles for land or whatever, all that has to stop. People need to live together. People need to love each other. People need to groove in a positive way. I will never allow myself to be in a room with negative people. I will walk right out of that room. Because if they're going to do that, they're going to get themselves in a circular pattern where they will not be able to see the light of day, because they're just going in that same pattern over and over again for things that are so mundane and unimportant when we're talking about spaceships and people from other planets coming to Earth. So now they're dealing with each other instead of looking at the sky and saying, wow, do you see that spaceship coming down here? They just landed in that field, and look who's coming out of those ships. That's the thing. When it gets warm out, everybody learn how to do C5, contact with extraterrestrial intelligence. Get out there. Get some people together. Learn how to do the medications and the protocol of contact. Everybody. The protocol of contact is available to every single person on this planet if you so choose to go forward with it. And that's up to you. I mean, if you choose just to watch TV, fine. If you want to go out to a field or a beach at night that's empty, get a few people together. Do the proper protocol of contact. See what happens. Document it. Record it. Take part in it. Moon Girl Namaste. I like that name. What year are we able to meet the ETs, our friends? So I'm going to throw out a year, not a date. I know there are people that are now coming on with specific dates. I've been very conservative still with 2026, but I do feel that in this year, everything is increasing tenfold, meaning you're going to see more ships coming out of the ocean. You're going to see more spaceships over different places around the world, whether it be in Poland, whether it be anywhere. You're going to see a lot more activity. So that's a great question. Lucky says, I have a situation that is ongoing at my house. I think they may be ETs. Sounds crazy, but real. So, Lucky, I'd like to bring you up here. I'm going to bring up Mercy, the one, and then I Am Thomas is in the queue here. And we're going to do this randomly. So I want to see what Mercy, the one, is about. And Lucky, we'll bring you up too once I do. I like to do one-on-one interviews here with everybody. Let me see if this person's here. And you have to be over 18, no foul language, no smoking, no drinking, no kids on the show, no religion, paranormal, or politics. None of that. And the other thing is one must be positive. I'm done with negativity, and there won't be any of that here. Okay, it looks like we're having problems with that person getting connected. So I want to do this. I'm going to be random. I want to hear about Lucky's story, and then I'm going to bring up a few other people. And so I want to see Lucky, come on up if you can. Go to the guest option. I want to hear. Lucky says, I have a situation that is ongoing at my house. I think they may be ETs. Sounds crazy, but real. Yeah, and Joseph wants to come up too. Joseph has a story to finish up, and I am totally aware of it. We have plenty time here to do this. And where's Joseph? So I'll bring Joseph up, and then I'm going to bring these other two people up individually. But I'm going to have Joseph come back up with us here on the show. And let me see here, hopefully. And if you're in the queue, be patient. Don't fall asleep while I'm interviewing somebody. Joseph, how you doing, brother?
I'm fine. And yourself, Commander?
We're doing good. Let me bring you on camera. Can I do that?
Yes, you can. Turn on.
All right, we're going to turn on the camera.
Let me.
It says
It
I have to wait.
save at the
Yeah,
bottom.
save. Press the save button.
Okay.
There you go, brother. How you doing?
I'm fine. And yourself, Commander? How are you?
Good. Things are really amped up here. We're always, my friend Steele, he gave a great story. He was involved in the Navy, and we're going to get future information from him. Tell us what's happening for people that don't know. Tell us where you are. Our audience, not everybody knows who you are.
I'm in Long Island. I'm from South Jamaica, Queens, in New York. That's where I was born. That's where I was raised at. And I'm in Long Island right now. And I love it in Long Island.
Yeah.
Different than growing up in Queens. Trust me.
Yeah, Long Island's a different boat, and even Eastern Long Island is really different, you know?
Yes.
So tell people about your background and about your story who are watching the show here.
Okay, well, my name is Joseph. Everyone calls me True. Um, it's hard for me to tell people these things because sometimes this is the right place to share. But some people, when you tell them certain things, they start thinking you crazy, even though the government got on TV, Congress, and said, hey, listen, extraterrestrials exist. They're in our oceans. They're coming out of our oceans. Some people still don't believe.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and then we can't shake them up. Well, we can shake them up, but you know, more people believe now than they did 30 years ago, which is a good thing. I
Yes,
think we that's why my show's here because we have the majority of people around the world that know that things are happening. The minority are the people that might think, "Oh, person, I don't believe that." Those people eventually are going to be looking at things when they start seeing these spaceships all over the place. They're going to say, "I didn't believe that person, but they were right."
that's what
Meaning,
they're
like
saying to me
yourself,
now.
that's exactly what's going to happen. So it's a comfortable thing to be. And you know me, and you know my show, and I've been in radio and media for years. I've seen all the things change over the years in terms of belief systems, and I think we're in a good place now. I think the majority of our planet is ready for something. Not everybody's concentrating on it. They go to work every day. They might work in a city in Paris. They're going with their, to the office. They're not looking up at the sky. But there's now more stuff happening in our oceans and above the sky than it ever has in the last 30 years. Right now,
Definitely.
you
Um,
know.
I never really got the chance to really share the story, and things
Yeah.
that I've been experiencing. So whenever you want me to, I'm ready to go.
Let's do it right now and go into it.
Okay. So one day I woke up, right? I'm on a ship, right? They're doing all kind of tests on me. They putting stuff in my eye, up my nose. I was so scared at first. I was like, God, God, please help me, please help me. And they said to me telepathically, they said,
Hmm.
there is no God. We're the gods. But I didn't know if they were saying we were the gods or they were the gods, right? So they did something to cut off my fear. How
Hmm.
they did it, I don't know, right? So they turned my fear off. They showed me pictures of earthquakes in my mind, tornadoes, tsunamis, volcanoes, flood, the trees burning, uh, war. They showed me all kind of things like that, and they said to me, they said because humans are unbalanced, right? The earth is unbalanced, and if we don't change our ways, we're going to self-destruct, right? So that was one time that they took me. Another time they took me and they brought this little girl to me and they told me that this is my daughter. So I went to come close to the little girl and the girl grabbed the Zeta Reticuli by the arm and was scared of me, right? And
Hmm.
I was like, wow, I seen rows and rows of fetuses in like a glass tight beacon with a light green
Oh my
liquid,
God. And
right?
was this on True? Was this on a spaceship?
Yes, it was on a ship. Now,
Interesting. Continue.
they had, I don't know how they did it, but they were inside of me with their hands because they was doing all these type of experiments on me, right? So they got my chest open. I don't know how.
Oh my God.
Feel like later on, like somebody opened my chest. It was a lot of pain, but it went
Yeah.
away, right? So they looking at my organs, they taking samples, they putting stuff in my, needle. They doing all
Yeah.
kind of stuff, my rectum, my sperm, everything. They doing all kind of stuff. So I'm laying down and a needle, right, was coming
Oh
down.
my God.
And I said, hold up, wait, It looked like this is going to hurt. Put me to sleep, right? I asked them to put me to
Right.
sleep because it
You
looked
asked them
like
to you to sleep.
that was going to hurt. And they
Hmm.
did. They didn't treat me bad. I don't know if they was supposed to be doing what they doing, but what I think that they're trying either to create a hybrid or they're trying to save humanity to take people somewhere else if something happens, right? That's just the feeling that I got, but they're really looking out for
But
themselves.
but then they but the thing is, the problem with that they take people and do what they're doing, these zeta, and to use all these things against your body is against universal law. I work with the Ashtar Command. My space parents are watching the show. Um, Everything the Christed beings of light believe in, these beings don't believe in. They're doing things for their own purpose, not so much for the salvation of the planet Earth or human beings, folks. Their purpose is they messed up their whole system, the Zeta Reticuli system. Their planets became so advanced to the point where they forgot the humanity, they forgot the emotions, they forgot the feelings, they forgot what love is. They lost all of that stuff.
They don't
And
have
so
no
therefore,
emotions.
so when they took you, they're not taking you to say, oh, we're here to help the planet. They're taking you because they want DNA samples to
Yes.
interconnect their DNA with your DNA in order to get back some human emotions that they lost from doing what they did to their own planets. And they did a lot. So and I've seen the documentaries, but since you physically went on the ship, this wasn't a dream, you physically were taken on a ship, you saw these babies in these glass tubes, folks.
Yes.
That's all against everything the positive space people believe in, and they would never do that to a human being.
Mm-mm.
And so what the end game is for them is they're trying to integrate human DNA with their Zeta DNA in order to create a hybrid race of Zeta that look more human. That's the end game for them. It's not because they love you. They're doing it for selfish purposes. They're doing it for their own purposes. And people here need to, as they're watching the show, need to understand that's what they're doing. And let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Are they still taking you up on these ships?
Well, not that I remember, because I remember a lot of things. I remember. So ever since, so what happened is, right, I came on your show. You told me, lay down, relax. You said you're going to feel somebody touch your left shoulder. You're going to feel somebody
Right.
touch your forehead, right? So I'm laying down. I'm doing breathing. I'm doing everything you told me to do, right? And what I seen the Ashtar Command. I seen them. They were in my room. You said
Yes.
they was going to stay with me for 3 or
Yes.
4 days. They
Yes.
were there. I seen them. But what I didn't understand is it was 3 like my ancestors or Aboriginal people that was there, like watching everything they was doing.
Oh, that can happen. That's definitely a multi-dimensional reality thing.
They
So,
were
and what
there.
we did back then, we basically got rid of them from doing what they did to you, correct? And you're now clear of that. And when I interviewed him a long time ago when we did this, he can be a testament to the fact that he's not being bothered or taken on a ship anymore, correct?
Correct. And at first, I thought, you know what? Let me see, because I've been through so much and so many
Yeah.
experiences, right? And astral projection, all kind of things, right? So I thought it was kind of BS until I seen them. So I'm here to give a testimony that the commander is who he say he is, and when he says something is going to happen, it happens. Trust me.
Thank
I
you very much.
experienced it.
Because there are people out there that don't understand that I am who I am, and I do have gifts that my father gave me, and I will always defend myself. If I need to, I will, because if there are people that think I don't have them, they're just misinformed or they don't know who I am. And I'm trying to teach people what I am, which is when I work in space consciousness, that's when when I worked with him, I worked in my space consciousness, my Christed consciousness. I'm always in Christ conscious, Christed energy of light. But when I work in space consciousness, watch out, because I do get rid of the Zeta I do get rid of the reptilians. I do what I say I'm going to do, and it is real. It is real.
Real
Yeah.
100%. Another thing that they did when they took me on ship, it was like a woman, right? A woman, but
Yes.
her eyes were a little bit bigger. She was how could I say it? A Aboriginal person, right?
Yeah.
As myself, and they made us mate, right?
Yes.
No gravity. I don't know how. I don't know.
No
No,
gravity.
no gravity,
Interesting. Amazing. No
right?
gravity.
So many things have happened to me over the years, right? And this was just another thing with the Ashkar command. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, they here. And I'm looking at,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know what they were doing, but they were
Yeah.
doing
No, they don't.
something.
My Ashtar family, well, not just my biological family. At that time, I was bringing space people into people's rooms, and then the command told me not to. I was not going to do that anymore because they had to do other work off planet. Now, not that they don't have a lot of people, but it took away from the work they need to do. But then as time went on, since then, I can use the palm of my hands to send beams of light and clear energies in homes. I can send the beams of light to chase the Zeta off planet. I can do that. I mean, that started latter part of last year is when I been given the gift of my father to, I take out the implants. I'm able to unblock memory of people that are trying to remember their cosmic connection. I unblock the consciousness and I do the implant removals and I'm sure I have some other abilities that I don't know yet, but
Mhm.
as time goes on, I will learn what they are.
Question. I have a question for you.
Yeah,
I'm hearing frequencies, right, in my left ear, right? It's like it comes on periodically throughout the day, all day, and I don't know what it is. I used to hear high pitched frequencies a while ago, like
yeah,
something like, but this is different. Like I
yeah,
never, and this stuff started happening maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I mean, literally, I'm
yeah,
hearing frequency inside. I don't know what it is,
yeah.
right?
So, yeah, the frequency thing is very important. So, now there's a difference between tendonitis, which is an earth based thing with the ears, and then there's the tones. Like, for
Mm,
example, like when I get a tone popping up on the left or right ear, it go woo, and then the tone goes down. And when the tone goes down, I'm sure many of you here watching the show have had the same experience. The tone goes down and disappears. So
mhm.
for those that don't know what that is a downloading of information to you that you're going to have to translate in your consciousness into some sort of word.
Wow.
And you will eventually do that, people. If you do have that and it just disappears, that means you're getting downloaded from your star family information. But you don't know what the information is yet because you haven't been able to figure it out or decode it. You will if you take the time to.
Okay. But this right here, the frequency I'm talking about, I might get two tones of frequency. Now, what you talking about, I used to get that, once in a while. But this is different than that. This is a is it's like I hear two distinct tones, right? Not, and I'm saying frequency because I know what frequency is, right? And
Yeah.
I'm hearing like a woo, and it changes,
Yeah.
but they are frequencies. I know it for a fact. I just
Yeah.
don't know why it's happening, right? I don't know
Yeah.
why, but it's
You'll figure it
happening.
out when you do meditation, and then after if the tone happens, when it happens after it's done happening, just go into meditation and just quietly sit there and allow your consciousness to take that information and try to translate it. Don't think about anything. Just say, okay, I want to take the information from the download that just happened with the tones, and I want to understand it. And if you just do that, maybe for a half hour, keep a journal and write down whatever you get the translation of what that tone is, what that means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted, because I didn't know that this could happen. I was laying on the bed sleeping, right where I'm at. I was laying down, and I was like in between work and sleep, like, and somebody hit me, right? on my shoulders like this, hard. And I said,
Yeah.
I didn't know people on the other side of people could actually do that. Like
Yeah.
literally, like could touch you and stuff. Then I woke up again another time and I see one of my friends who passed away, right? He was just sitting in a chair, just sitting there,
Yeah.
right?
You
I
know?
don't know why, but he was just sitting there. And it kind of, I'm like, I just never experienced where somebody could actually touch me. And that
Yeah.
happened twice, somebody touched me. And then I
Well,
speak to him.
Well, you know, you're definitely in not only enlightened and open in your consciousness, you're protected too. So ever since that first time when we were helping you, you know, so you're a blessing, brother. You know.
So I want to tell you, thank you. I want to tell you about a couple of experiences I had with astral projection. First, right, because all of these things I've been happening, I would be like, ask up, why me? Like, why is
Hmm.
all this stuff happening to me?
To me, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So I remember before I was born here on this planet. I remember they told me over there, wherever we was at, it was home. And they asked 3 times, you know, we need somebody to go here to Tiamat or here to do on a mission, right? So
yeah,
nobody wanted to go. I didn't want to go. Nobody else wanted to go. And then, being that everybody was quiet, I said, okay, I'll go, right? And they told me,
yeah.
they said, listen, all the information that you know in this realm, you're going to be made to forget when you go through the birthing process, right? They told
Hmm.
me I'm going to be, they allowed me 3 times to come to the families that I would be born to, right? Before I was even born here. They told me I'm going to be unjustly placed in the prison, right? They told
Hmm.
me all this stuff. And I'm like, wow. And I was literally, I remember everything. Like, I
Yeah,
remember. Now, I don't remember everything, but I remember some things. You
yeah.
know, how I don't know how. I tell some of my friends, and I told them, man, listen, life doesn't begin at birth, nor does it end in death. That
Yeah.
we are eternal beings, like we don't die. A lot of
That's
people don't
exactly
know
you.
this.
That's what I've been trying to tell people. Even in my workshops, I tell people death is an illusion. I mean, we do leave our physical body here when we're
Hmm.
ready to leave it, but we go into another physical body of light. So, for example, when we leave here, people think, oh, you know, you put the person in the thing. On Earth, we're known to believe that there's a thing called life and death. But from a galactic perspective, people, really all you're doing is when you leave your physical body, you are taking your whole light higher self to another physical body from a more advanced consciousness. You're going into the next level. It's like graduating from first grade to second, third, fourth, fifth, 12th, and then going to the university in space. And then going from the university in space, you graduate, and now you're going to another university. So we never really do perish or die. We go into another. We now walk into the journey
Wow.
of to another level of consciousness.
Yes. Have you ever? I have experienced it, my higher self talking to my higher self from somewhere else, talking to my higher self, and he was telling me things about my higher self was telling the lower self things. I thought that was kind of weird because I didn't know what that was, right? But
Yeah, you know. So we all have a higher self. Some people call it, and we'll sometimes use the word. We have a light body within our body. That's
mhm.
another thing which is not unusual. So you can say you have a higher self, which is the more open consciousness that works beyond the brain level. Then you have the light body, which could be within your own body, which is in your body. Some people don't really realize that they have a light body within their bodies. So you have the physical human form, and then your light body came into this form to be active with you. So yeah. Hey Joseph, I
So
want to thank you for being any last words, and then I'll bring some more
yes, I
people up
wanted to
too.
say one more thing before I get off.
Yeah. Okay.
One day I astral projected to, I could say, Area 51, right? And
Hmm.
I seen military underground, I seen military on one floor. Then I
Yeah.
went down and I seen a mixture of humans and animals, right, in cages. And then I went down more. Military and the Zeta Reticuli was there, and they said, "Don't worry about him. He's going to be gone in 3 or 4 seconds." Right? They
Yeah.
knew I was there. They knew I was there. The
That's
Zeta.
crazy. Yeah.
And after that, I got a little scared and I left. One thing I learned when you astral project, if you show any emotions, any fear, any happiness, anything, you scared anything, right back in your body.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Absolutely true, man. Yeah, and he's talking. He's talking on actual experiences when he did this. So we're gonna have you back again, man. It's been a long time. So thank you so much, man, for being here.
Thank you so much. Christ being a light. Thank you.
Absolutely, always, always, always. And he is well protected by the Astro Command. We're going to let Joseph down. I'm going to bring I Am up. Let me see here. Watching Encounters and 103,000. We've had now 3,200 people watch the show since 11 o'clock. So for 1 hour, 45 minutes, we've gotten 3,200 people on TikTok watching the show. We're going to bring up our next guest. I Am is our next guest, as promised. Again, I just want to make sure people know the rules here of the show. Hey, how you doing? Just going to let people know the rules before we get started. No foul language on the show, no smoking on the show at all, no drinking, no drunks, no paranormal discussion, no religion, no politics, no kids, and no cursing. I think I said all that at once. Can I bring you on camera?
I must look. How? Wait.
I'm pressing my button here, which allows you to save it, and there
Maybe
we
you
are.
see something, but it's dark in here. You don't see something, huh? Here.
We see it. We see something coming from space, a human face.
Yeah. I'm not from space, so maybe it's very dark. It's in the morning in my country. I'm from Germany, so.
Oh, welcome. I'm glad to have you on, brother. We have a lot of people in Germany that are friends of the show, so thank you for being here. Give us a little background of where you are in Germany and tell us a little bit about your story too.
Yeah, so I will start, but before I start, I want to apologize. But maybe my English is not perfect, but I think you will understand me. So I want to tell you. So I think you guys all familiar with the story of the Anunnaki, right?
Yes.
So I will give you a short description how it works today. So the Anunnaki created us 450,000 years ago, and there is a cycle every 3,600 years. And this is not only Nibiru they live on, they have another solar system with 8 planets. And this solar system come to our solar system every 3,600 years. And this is why you can see all the stuff up in the sky and all the UFOs and all the stuff. Because the Anunnaki are now here. The planets are here and it's not working on gravitation. It's an electric universe. So they don't crash into another, but the planets are here. I have all the stuff and the pictures, and I know the man who drawing the pictures, and you can see the planets, and they all have different atmospheres. And so that is why you see sometime maybe this in the sky and maybe this, but they have different atmospheres. And this is why the sky looks so today. And you must understand that the cycles before civilizations lost or get die, because it's always come with a very, very big climate change. And this is the time we are in. So remember all the floods, all the earthquakes, all the winds. That's not our own made climate, made from human. This is because the other planets are here, and the other planets are so big, they are sometimes 8 times more than Earth, and they interrupt to our Earth, and that's why we all have the catastrophic stuff. So
Yeah,
this
and
is
our planet, Thomas, is actually kind of small compared to these really large planets that we're
yes.
talking about, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course, of course. I have pictures of it, so you can see the planets in the sky. They are not like Mercury or something else very small. No, they are very big. They are actually between our sun and our Earth are these planets. and they have also a sun. So you may maybe think about why our sun is so strong, why our sun gets so big. Yeah, that's why the other sun is here too. So you must watch the pictures maybe to understand how it works.
Hmm.
So I just want to say that's this is the story nobody tells about, but because nobody know how it works. So the
Yeah,
Anunnaki are back here, and this is the reason why Earth is the stage we have now. So you understand what I'm telling you?
absolutely. And this is what I love about my guests on encounters. We don't invalidate anybody on this show. When people share their stories, you're not going to hear these stories on NBC News or German TV. You're going to hear it here on Encounters, because this is where I want to bring everybody together. This is all part of disclosure. This is where we all come together. My friend now, Thomas, is a new friend of the show. My friend now in Germany, and people wherever you are in the world. And I have friends in Japan that do lives in the morning. I don't understand the language, but they are talking about these things in Japanese. And so, you know, it's time to come together. It's time to reveal what we know. We know more stuff in our research than not to say that we're smarter than our own military top secret people in our governments, whether it be Germany, US, Canada, whatever. But we are disclosing more information here with everybody I've had as a guest than you'll ever get trying to find it on a regular TV news channel. We are. The stuff that
Yeah,
Thomas talks about, the bigger planets. How many people have heard about these bigger planets? How many people will hear about these bigger planets? Well, you won't unless somebody has really done the research. And I know just for the little bit of time we're talking, you've really studied this and looked at all this stuff very, very
yeah,
carefully, correct?
yes, but it's not my work. It's the work of my friend of Samuel Hoffman.
Samuel
He
Huffman,
had
okay.
He has a non-disclosure agreement for 30 years and work also for the government in a far-seeing project and
Oh,
something
wow.
like that. And he can't speak until 2010. And then
Mhm.
he published this information, but unfortunately, it didn't come in mainstream. So not much people know about this. But I
Yeah.
want to help him and I want to share his information. I know this
Mhm.
guy very well.
Mhm.
I'm in personal contact, and
Oh, good.
I want
Good.
to tell people how it really works because people don't understand why we have all the floods, all the earthquakes, and do you know what? It's getting much worse every year.
Yeah.
So the planets are interrupted with our Earth, and that's very crazy. The show is going on. And yeah, that's why I want to share. Maybe you have some contacts to share this. At first, you must look at my page and confirm the information I give you here. So, but you can look at my page, you can look the videos and the pictures and ask yourself, hey, can this really be true? And look at at the sky for your own, with your own eyes. So you
Right.
don't see every time this planet in clear. You have a whole atmosphere in the clouds over our clouds. This is
Right.
how it works. So there are clouds maybe in our atmosphere, but there are clouds above. So
Yeah.
sometimes you see our clouds going west, and then you look very closely, and they say, "Hey, there are another clouds above, but the clouds go, for example, south."
That's
So
right.
that's different directions, and you can't understand why the clouds are going different directions. That's why the planets are different way, like our wind, for example. And yeah, so this is the story I want to tell.
Yeah, and I want to, make sure that you're able to do it. Let me just do this here. I'm just muting somebody that's, people are just, I just muted him. Um, so anyway, you're good. As host of the show, I just muted one person that's been getting a lot of people there, and
Hmm.
I'm very aware of what's happening. That's why I'm host of the show for 3 years. And that's why I started the show.
Yeah, good
So,
job.
yes, so I have to, I always I don't allow for disruption here. It's not censorship. This is a show. This is not a free for all, and people can go somewhere else if they want to create havoc or whatever. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Um, but your information, and this person does. Does he have TikTok too, or no? He cannot
No,
speak.
he can't speak on TikTok. He's very how can I tell? He has Facebook, and he is on a regular show on YouTube every Saturday.
Oh,
But
really?
that's yes, but that's all what he can do. So he
Okay.
can't do the other stuff for a reason. But you
Okay.
can
I
see
completely
him.
understand that. Yeah.
You can see
YouTube.
him on Facebook. He has his own groups, and with another friend, it's called Rebecca, and they're doing the show every Saturday on YouTube. So you can look that up too. But at first, you can find also Rebecca's channel here on TikTok. It's
Hmm.
called Nibiru Followers Anonymous, but I have linked this in my profile, and she had a
Interesting.
lot of stuff with the pictures and the videos she made. She is very
Oh,
amazing.
that's interesting. Rebecca, I'll have to find her,
Yeah, you
and
can
maybe
find
we
it.
could, I'll try to
Yes.
bring her on the show here. She's on TikTok. Maybe she'll come up here. She probably doesn't even know who I am yet, but yeah.
Yeah, but
So
first of
you're,
all, you can look at her profile on TikTok and look what she's doing. So this is
yeah,
very interesting stuff. It's the binary twin solar system. So all the people believe, hey, we're living in one solar system, have one sun, and
right.
no, that's not true. So you can look
There
up
is,
this
and there
information.
is a and there is a binary. I've never talked about it much, but I'm glad Thomas you brought it up. So we're in a system, a solar system here. Okay, let me preface it this way. But if people look at the fact that this is a system here, then you think of Naburu, which many years ago, before we had TikTok and these cell phones, somehow met somebody in Texas on a PC on my computer through the internet, and this person in Texas says, I'm taking pictures with a really powerful camera of Naburu, and he sent me the photo. I wish I still had them. Uh, but that's the first time I knew and heard about it, and then I started thinking about it. Years later. I reflect back on it, and we have two very, very strong solar systems. One is the solar system that we're in now, that we perceive as this reality. There's a binary system very close to us that is even more amazing. Not that we're not amazing. I think you understand, Thomas, what I'm saying is I do understand that actually exists. The human 3D consciousness won't understand that. But once we wake up to the total consciousness that we have, as you have, as many of our viewers have, there is
Yeah.
another planetary system as a binary system that's very close to our system.
Yes, of course, you must think about it. Look, if you believe in the Anunnaki and okay, Anunnaki live on another planet, and hey, Nibiru is not in our solar system. So you must think, how can it be? If the Anunnaki are on another planet, so they need also a sun. So it's just the way how it works. So they are in another solar system, which is very near here to Earth, because the cycle is about approximately 3,600 years. So you can give you very simple answers if you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. You've been a really terrific guest, and you're always welcome here. You have a great perspective and knowledge, and with the person you've been working with, and even though they can't come up, and you're representing them, you're doing a great job, and you have all the
Thank you.
information. So we appreciate you, my friend, over in Germany, to finding our show. We're on every night, and there's sometimes I'll take a night off just to get to the beach, just to get back to nature and get off the electronics. We all have to do that, meditate a little bit, you know what I mean?
Grounding, man,
But
grounding.
grounding, yeah, we got to do some grounding, man. But I want to thank you, everybody. Everybody, give Thomas a round of applause for coming up here.
No
And if you have
problem.
if
Thank
you have
you.
more information, you can always any updates you want to bring up, we'll always bring you up here, and you can share them with our audience here on Encounters.
Of course, but look my page up later if the show ends, and you can look all the informations on my site and do your
Absolutely,
research.
research. Yep, that's what people need to do, right?
Of course,
Expanding our consciousness, researching things, very important.
absolute.
All right, Thomas, man.
So,
Blessings to you, brother.
thank you. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.
All right, we're gonna bring Thomas down, and that was great. Yeah, some really cool stuff, and we're gonna do some more guest interviews. It's like 102. I think we'll go to about 1:20 a.m. and then we're going to call it a night. Paranormal, let's see. Who else is here? So are there any other people that I've missed here that wanted to come up? Let me see here. Okay. Let's see. Anyone have any contacts happening? Odd Buckins, welcome, Grammy. Who here has any new people that are being contacted by space people? Don't be shy. We are willing to bring you Lucky. I want to bring Lucky up. That's right. Lucky, we're going to try to do this again. Lucky, come on up. There's got to be a way. Here we go. It's going to work. Okay. Hey, Lucky, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can I put you on camera? I'm going to press a little button here.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. And just press save on that, and you'll be right on camera all over the world.
Oh, okay. Is that save? Okay.
Hey.
Hi,
All right,
how you
Lucky,
doing?
how are you? Good. And where are you
Good.
located? I know you're not in Germany, but where are you?
I live in Maryland. I'm currently on business in North Carolina, but I have really been having some strange stuff lately, like 3 years now. And I haven't found anybody that I can actually talk to this about because nobody believes me.
Mhm.
My husband didn't either until he saw what I've been seeing, because I work from home.
Okay.
And I've got some really bizarre stuff that's been happening to me, and I actually think I've been tagged somehow. Once I saw something, I thought it was ghosts. Well, I
Okay.
started taking pictures and videos, and I actually ended up I've got a picture of something sticking something in my neck.
Really?
Seriously. Yeah, it's a syringe. It looks like a syringe, and it's got 3 fingers and a thumb, and it's holding it. My husband's actually a physician, and he was like, "What the hell is that?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Or heck, sorry about that. What the heck is that? And I said, I don't know. It's just I was taking pictures under ultraviolet light because I had seen originally it started where these circles were appearing on my ceiling. Like I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
they are. I have videos of them appearing, disappearing. Sometimes there's more than one. And they I think they follow me around, or I've got some way that they're contacting. I don't know. It's really bizarre. One night I woke up, it was like 11 something in the evening, and I was actually like half asleep, and I did see something in my room, and I watched it. And I couldn't believe my eyes. It looked like it was tar black, like black is like a
Oh
shiny
my
black.
God.
It had a
Mm-hmm.
big head. It was about 5 feet tall. It was like maybe a foot and a half away from my husband's side of the bed. He was
Oh
asleep.
my God.
Yeah, and I didn't wake him up, but I was like, that was weird. Um, and I've got where these things will come out and take pictures with me and videos. I've got a slew of them, and I could
So you're
love to
saying
show you
these lower vibrational space people, you have pictures of them with you?
videos too. They come
Video
out with me.
footage.
They'll come out with me. I can call them and they'll show up.
Are
It's
you kidding
weird.
me? Can you show us any photos?
Oh my God.
We got
Um,
to see this.
I don't I don't want to cut you off. I don't know how to do it on this because I
Okay.
never get on these things.
Okay.
Um,
You know what? Are they on your TikTok page? They're
no,
not on
not
there,
this
are they?
one. This is
Okay.
no. I've got some. You could look at the Lucky Chicks. Look at my profile, and I accidentally put one of my videos on there, and it's me calling these things out. I have. I know this sounds crazy, but I've got a TJ
You know
Maxx
what?
mirror.
I don't want
And
to play that because if I play that, then we might be calling them out to come
oh my
into
God.
your room.
Well, that's okay. They're around me all the time. I don't.
So
I'm not
let me
a.
understand. So these are the
I-
ones that have been doing these things with syringe too. These are the ones that have been doing that stuff to you.
Um, I'm not sure if they sometimes they look like some look like human and some look like something else. I don't know
Hmm.
how to describe it, but I've got the one on Lucky Chicks that I accidentally posted is a video of me to show people that this stuff is real, and I'm calling them. I was like, I don't know if you can hear me, but come on out. I'm talking through it. And what I see when these things are appearing, it looks like hazy,
Hmm.
I don't know, like a haze almost in front of
I'm
me.
almost I'm almost tempted to do this. I don't know if the better judgment of myself is not going to work here. Now, because you're able to call them out,
Hmm.
uh, I'm almost tempted to ask you right here, and I'm actually so tempted to do this. I'm well protected with the Astro Command. If you call them out on the show, will they physically be right there?
I mean, when I'm videoing, I can't really tell. I've had like my friends come over. I got an electrical engineer buddy of mine. He flew in from Texas because I was telling him about this and he doesn't believe in
Yeah,
anything. And I was like,
yeah,
maybe you can feel it or something. And I've got videos where they're popping up next to him. And I'm like, Mark, can you see this thing? He's like, I can't
really.
see it.
So let me
But
ask you a
sometimes
question.
they look, I mean,
Yeah.
okay,
I'm calling the Astro Command out to put a very big shield up here, and I have
okay.
space people that are here that are now invisible. But I'm going to do this thing on my show for the first time. I want to
Speaking,
see where you're staying. I want you to do whatever it is that you do to call in these space beings into the room you're in, and
okay,
I want to see whether they appear on the screen with you. Okay, folks,
okay.
here we go.
I've seen them in daylight. It don't have to be dark or anything. Daylight.
Hmm.
What I've been doing to see them clearly is I have an infrared and ultraviolet lights, and that
Hmm.
seems to illuminate them. Yeah, in different colors
Hmm.
like red or blue. I mean, I can call them. Maybe they'll pop up.
Yeah, I'm going to let
I
you do
just
that. And
I,
again, I'm putting an Ashtar command shield around here. I think she's dealing with lower vibrational ETs, but we'll
they
find
don't
out.
they don't hurt me or anything. They're just friendly.
Huh?
They come out. They pose with me. I've got
They're
pictures with them
friendly.
and videos. Hmm.
Well, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you do this. Once I see them, I'll know what's happening.
Okay. Well, let me see. I'm in a
We're
hotel
gonna all
right
see
now.
them, I think.
I
Yeah, when
just
they use
usually
it,
just tell
this
them.
oh, the thing you have to understand, if they use a syringe on you, that's not friendly extraterrestrials. That is negative beings. When they do that, they're doing that against your will. So,
Well, I was taking a selfie in it was almost completely dark, and I had like the ultraviolet. I was just kind of testing, like, hey, if anybody can see me right now, get in the selfie, right? So I'm doing like this, and next thing you know, it's kind of like this canted, and they're sticking something. Like I said, it's got three fingers and a thumb, and one of the
yeah,
fingers even has a ring on it. But it's
right.
sticking something right in my neck. And
Yeah,
get
that's
this.
negative. What they do is the negative ETs, they'll program a belief system that they're going to be friendly and happy and good people, and at the other end of it, they're working on your DNA, doing things they're not supposed to do against universal law. And so I want to see what's happening here. If they do show up, I do know one thing. I know one thing completely. Um, I'm calling the Ashtar Command, my guards in the command, to be here with me to just to make sure nobody has any problems here. But let you do this thing. I want to see if these beings show up, and we'll know what to do.
Well, I can tell you this for a fact. I feel them when they're coming, when they're in the room. I'm actually starting to
Hmm.
get something. When this first started, I started getting some strange tingling on the top of my head, like over here.
Hmm.
I didn't know what it was. And that's when I started to being able to like visually see these things. And I was like, I must be crazy because I really thought I was crazy. I mean, I'm a business owner. I thought maybe the
Right.
stress is getting to me, but
And
these
if
are
I
real.
think that they're going to do something wrong, I will go into my space consciousness, and I don't know how much you've known about my show. I'm a contactee from the '60s. I work with the Ashtar Command, which are positive space people. They're Christed beings of light, and we've been going after the low vibrational ETs, taking them off planet. So I'm already in my space consciousness right now, just for
Okay.
the sake of protection of the thing. So I'm going to let you do what you're going to do. I want to see
Okay.
how they react to me on the screen here if they
Okay.
do show up.
I usually just tell them, I say, I know you guys are around here. Can you guys come out and see me and hang out with me? And then
Yeah.
it usually takes, if I'm calling them, it'll take about 10 to 15 seconds. That tingling starts getting
Hmm.
really strong here. And it's almost
Hmm.
like, yeah, it's like, it feels like my hair is fat hair
Right.
and tingle. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It's weird. And it happens.
If they do anything that I think is not right, I have just so you know a little bit of, and this is I'm really so happy to have you on here. I have the ability with the palm of my hands to shoot beams of light through the screen into your physical room, and I will be able to take them off planet in 2 seconds. I will.
I don't know
For,
really
for
a
the for
lot
the
about, I don't
yeah,
know a lot about this stuff, so I'm not really familiar.
it's okay.
Um,
You know what? And it's okay. I'm glad you're here because you're with somebody who's with this Ashtar Command. I am a Christed being of light. I came to Earth. I volunteered to come here, and I want to make sure. I also want to make sure everyone's protected here. I don't want people getting afraid of anything. Please understand that you know everything will be okay.
okay. I mean, I just usually just tell them, I'm like, I know you guys are in here. Why don't you guys pop out and come hang out or whatever? Because a lot of times when they want to get my attention, I might be working and it's hard to ignore them, honestly.
Mhm.
But that's what I just tell them. Let me see if you can get them in the room here.
No, I agree, Van Z. Okay.
Yeah, I just tell them, are you guys here? You know, and they'll just pop
Yeah.
out. Let me,
Okay. And I want people to know, my audience, I am operating on a very high level frequency right now. I'm at a very high level frequency. I'm calling on the Ashtar Command, my family, to make sure everyone is protected. My guards are with me. I know they're here. So I'm putting a shield up and I'm going to see what happens here. If they do anything that's negative, I will send them off planet in 2 seconds.
okay. They've never tried like hurting me. I've even got one. This is no joke. I usually capture them when I'm doing like maybe sometimes I see it like they'll show up in reflections, but they come out. I mean, they physically will stand
Yeah,
next
well,
to me.
they can do that. So let's
And
see what happens here. I want everyone to know that I love you all. I don't do anything unless I'm absolutely sure that the broadcast is protected. And I'm going to help you, Lucky, to learn a little bit more about the thing because you don't know much about this. As you watch my show, you're going to learn about protection, about Christ consciousness, and I'm glad you're here. So we're going to help you.
yeah, I mean, I'll try to get them out, but
Okay, we'll see what happens.
okay. So, and by the way, some of them are really big and some of them are really little, like
Okay,
little, like 2 feet tall, maybe.
2 feet tall.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
but
see what
then
happens.
I've got some that are 7 feet tall standing next to me. It's weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see a projection on the wall, and I've got that on video too. I told my husband, I'm like, I was yelling at him. I said, "Hey, can
Yeah.
you got to see this? You know."
Hmm.
What it looked like was two silhouettes. They looked like they were cloaked, like a robe almost on them.
Hmm.
And they were on my wall. And what happens is it seems like they have some sort of connection with shadowing. And I don't know if they're attracted to it or not, but I had a candle on that night. And that's the first time I've seen them appear 2 in a row that way on the wall. Cause I said, I know I can, you guys know I can see you. And
Okay.
it's on the video.
So let's begin. Let's begin and
Okay.
get right into people are watching, and
Okay.
we're all interested to see what
Okay,
happens here.
I'll see if we can get them out of here.
And everyone, be patient, please. Everyone here, be patient.
They should show up on this. I FaceTimed one time to a girl that I was working with. She said she could see something on there. So, all right, hey guys, this is all I tell them is like, hey guys, are you guys in the room? Give me a second because it'll start to kick in. I'm starting to feel the tingling on top of my head.
Okay.
Are you guys in the room with me? Can you stand in here and get in the picture with us? We have some other people that want to talk to you. Can you please come here? Sometimes they're on my back too. They're like stuck to me, like stuck to me. I know it sounds crazy. You see anything in there yet? A lot of times you might see like what appears looking like a black spot, because sometimes the camera will pick it up and it looks like it's like a cloudy spot. I mean, I don't know how else to describe that. If you guys are in the room, can you guys come here? I know they're in here. They have done bizarre stuff, just like maybe I couldn't see them, but I would ask them, I'd say, do something I haven't seen before. And I've got a video where I'm doing it with the video, because I just started putting videos on everything. Nobody believes me, so I don't even post them anymore. But they made a train sound in my hotel room, because I travel on business a lot. I was like, that's weird because there's no train anywhere out in the middle of the desert where I was at.
Yeah.
But usually they'll pop out, and I tell them they're good with selfies. They come out, they'll stand next to me. Oh, they can even cloak me. They can make me like they can cover me
They
with
can
this.
cloak you. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to get them out here. Can you guys please show up for the camera? Can you guys please show up? I call one of them Mr. Shapeshifter because he like that's crazy sounding, but it's true. He can do different things.
Someone's saying music loves, and Karen said she saw a shadow behind you.
It could
She was
be.
looking at.
They
She
do.
said she saw a shadow.
Yeah, I'm in a hotel room, but I know they show up because I've seen them in my hotel rooms. They follow me or something.
Yeah.
I thought they were ghosts at first, but I don't think they're ghosts because they just look different. They look different, and I've got them even morphing on video where I'm taking like a reflection picture in a shiny TV, and I'm just saying, okay, I know you guys are in here, and that thing will pop up. I mean, it's crazy. Nobody
And I'm
believes
not
my
going to
husband
be.
got his
I'm not going to
nuts.
be the. And I'm not going to be the one calling him. I'm going to let you do that because I'm here to observe this
Yeah.
and I want everyone to know, just be patient and, allow yourselves to just relax and be patient. That's all I can tell you.
I'm going to try to get them in that TV. I got a TV behind me. A lot of
Yeah.
times they'll show up in the background on something like that, or in the mirror or glass.
Really?
Or right in front of me. You mentioned translucence before. I've got a
Yes.
picture where you can see, it looks almost like cellophane, like you can see through it, but they're walking towards us in the room. My husband gets really bent out of shape about this whole thing. And I'm like, I can't do nothing about it. He's like, tell them to go away. I'm like, they show up, and it's like, well, quit talking to them or whatever. And I'm like, well, they're kind of interesting too.
Okay. So let's get real focused on this.
Yeah.
And
Look
with people,
at the
we're
TV.
all
I'm
gonna
unplug real quick. Let me see if I can get them to show up. I'm gonna see if I can get them in the reflection, because sometimes I can take even videos in the while I'm in bed and facing at the TV, and I can see multiple people in the bed with us. It's crazy. If you guys are in here, can you guys please show up? Can you show yourself? Come stand next to me. I'm feeling the tingling. It's not quite strong as it can be,
Yeah.
but I am picking up something on it though, and I don't know why. This only started 3 years ago. I can't see.
For me, I'm not seeing anything, but that's me. I'm just.
Well, it's not
that's me.
necessarily impossible, or maybe I can't see enough to. I can't like zoom while I'm on this live thing, because sometimes I can zoom into it and kind of see what's going on. I know I've got like some weird looking ones in there though. Like some of them are a little creepy, but I'm not afraid of them at all. When the first guy was talking about it, he was saying he wasn't afraid. I'm not afraid of them at all, and I'm scared of everything.
And someone's saying, let's see, I don't see anything either, but Pink Kitten Mew says lamp in the corner of the room.
It wouldn't surprise me. I can't see that well either.
And one person is saying, just focus on an area.
What? Well, that's probably me there. I don't know. It's kind of awkward in here. Like I said, I'm here.
And someone is saying, let me see. Let me read the comments here. Zaina is saying there's a shadow in the TV. Let's look at the TV set. I see you there. Your reflection of yourself.
Yeah, I'm right here. I'll wave so you can see.
That's you. So I don't see a shadow, but if there is, I don't see it.
I know. It's like, oh, come on, guys. They come out all the time.
And I'm getting Laura saying she's also seeing there a shadow as well. And let me see here.
You know, sometimes I have this critter looking thing that's attached to that sits. It looks like a seal, like a face of a seal or something. And sometimes it'll like sits on my back. I've got pictures with that thing. It's on my bed, like animals sort of, but they understand me.
Yeah, and her shadow's on the TV, so you're seeing her shadow.
This is my shadow here.
That's her. So just so we keep it, honest here, that's her.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've been wanting to find somebody to help me with this thing for a long time, but nobody ever believes me. And it's like I show them the videos, and it's like, oh, you probably Photoshop. I don't know how to do any of that
Oh
crap.
no, we believe you on encounters.
I know.
We, as
I don't.
host of the show here, we definitely believe you.
Because I did not know where to turn. Everybody was like, oh, there's nothing. I even had the like, some of those local people come out, try to come out. They wouldn't even come out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I've got the
Well,
real
there's all
stuff.
kinds of. Some people aren't going to believe something because they've never experienced it. But as I always said in my life, if you're not in my shoes, you have no
That's
idea where
right.
I've been.
Well, I
Excuse
don't
me.
know. I can't really see them at the moment, but that's what I say too. Because like my husband, he didn't believe me for like 3 years. He just now saw the first thing. Uh,
Hmm.
walk. They hang out in the house. They walk around in there, and it's like
Yeah.
it's like an invasion of privacy, really. Sometimes they'll go up the stairs. I've got videos where they're like turning into light things, and they
So here's
bounce up the stairs.
I'm going to help you out a little bit here. So one of the
Okay.
things I do is meditation classes. So I want you to do one thing here that's really important. I
Okay.
want us to all be very quiet, and I want us to just be silent, and I want you to just in your own consciousness call them in without verbally saying anything. We're going to do this different.
Okay.
So you're going to say in your consciousness, because I believe some of these beings you're communicating with
You
are
see.
telepathic. So what you're going to do, instead of speaking verbally, you're going to say in your consciousness to them to please appear in whatever room you're in, and we're going to see if those beings appear, those ETs show up physically in your space.
And I'm looking right now. This is a mirror behind me, so I'm like trying to think maybe that might inspire them because they usually they can come through the mirror
Yeah.
and
So here's what you're going to do. You're going to be. I'm going to teach you how to, like, if you're in a room right now, and I said we're going to meditate, you would definitely do basically just allow yourself to maybe even sit down and take a deep breath, find a space to sit down and take a deep
okay,
breath and just call them in your inner consciousness. You're going to call them in, and what's going to happen is when you call them in, um, the idea is to just relax and concentrate. So what you need to do is right now you're going all over the place. So what I'm going to help you do
I
is
know.
relax. I'm going to get you to relax right now. I want you to close your eyes.
Okay, I'm trying to get
I'm
where
going to
it's
help
not
you
so
here.
dark.
Yeah, yeah. Wherever there's light, find a good spot.
Yeah, I'm
We're
trying
going
to
to
get where
get
it's
you
not
to.
going to glare
We're
off
going to
of it.
calm you down, and we're going to have you proceed to do this, and see what happens. So when you find
Okay.
that space, you're going to sit down. You're going to close your eyes for me. You're going to take a deep
Okay.
breath about 3 or 4 times, and you're not going to move at all. You're going to sit in one space and not move anywhere. You're going to just. I'm going to get you really relaxed here. So as you're just sitting there, you're going to breathe in and then breathe out of your nostrils. Breathe in, breathe out of your nostrils 3 or 4 times. You're not going to think about anything. You're going to turn your brain off for a moment, for more than a moment, and you're going to just sit in peace. And you're going to call on them internally and say, what you're going to say is to them what you would say if you want to see them, but you're not going to speak with your mouth. You're going to go within your consciousness, and because these beings are telepathic. They are telepathic. So as you do this, call them in now quietly. No words, no, just nothing. Just stay where you are. Just be where you are. Just be where you are and relax. Relax, relax, relax. You know. Oh, thank you, music. And and just relax. And as you calm your brain down, turn the brain off because it's interfering. You're going to now call on them, the ones that you say are who they are. You will call on them. I won't, but you will. And then we're just going to watch what happens in the room. We're
Okay.
going to see if anything happens. But you can't say a word. You have to relax. You have to
Okay.
relax. No words. Just relax. Just I know it's hard to do. Just take a deep breath. When you feel like you need to burst out and say something, just take a deep breath and relax.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like the tingling has gone. Sorry.
It's okay. But no talking. We're going to see what happens here. Everyone's just going to no noise. I'm just gonna. Don't you say anything. I'm just gonna read what people are saying. Nicole says the right by the bed. Are they right by the bed? I don't know. You don't have to say anything. I saw their light in the mirror. Someone, a light one says, I saw their light in the mirror. And I'm not going to make any judgment calls here. I can see something. I see a shadow near bottom of the mirror. Let's see here. And yes, Half Pint says, I see them. I'm just moderating the show here. I'm looking in the mirror. It's going to keep looking. Nothing else. I don't see anything. Let's see. Bazilla says the couch in the mirror is vibrating. There was a light that passed and shadow. Greta says nothing. It's coming back in there. Zana says it's gone. Let's the mom says nada. Shadow in the mirror. Yes, that's kind of what I'm seeing. Half Pint says they are standing with her. All right, I know it's getting close to 1:30. We're going to have you back. I think there's, I want to ask you, and what's your first name? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Michelle.
Michelle, nice to meet you, Michelle.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
And I'm following you. I think you're a beautiful person. I want to have you back on the show. I'm following you now. I'm on at 11 o'clock East Coast. Most nights I do once in a while take a break. I've been involved in all this stuff for a lot of years. So would you come back on tomorrow night? What I'd like to do is I'd like to scan you for any implants that you might have from these beings. It's really, okay.
I really think there's something in here.
Right now?
I could feel them when you guys were saying you see a shadow of the light. I could feel that it's like I don't know if it's activating or what. It feels really strange, and it's always in the same space. But that's where I was thinking if maybe something tagged me.
Yeah. So here's what I want to do because it is getting late. Yeah. Tomorrow night I'll be on after 11 o'clock on Wednesday night. If you'll come back on, you'll be my first guest. And what I want to do with you is I will do a scanning. I work in space consciousness. How do I put this in words? So I am a human being. Don't anybody get me wrong. I am human. I have a family, but I also am a space being. My consciousness works in a very high frequency. So what I want to do is tomorrow night I want to scan you for any implants. If I find the implants, I will take the implants out of you and destroy the implants. I am able to do that with the palm of my hands.
I got one more thing I want to say. When all this stuff started happening, I was thinking that it was possibly like, UFOs or whatever. I mean, ETs. I remembered back when I was like 7 years old, I talked to my brother about it. We saw something back in the 70s. I mean, it was 70s. I remember it. Yeah, it looked like an egg, but it was like a 5,000 K watt bulb. I'm in real estate, so that's why I said
real estate, okay.
It looked like it was a solid white. It wasn't flashing or anything, but it looked like like a LED bright white, and it would look like egg, and it just hovered there in the sky because me and my brother were looking at it, and we were telling people, nobody believed us.
Hmm.
And I was thinking maybe it's got something to do with that now. I mean, I'm
There could be a
58.
connection between your sighting of the spaceship or whatever with
That's
these different beings. But I guarantee tomorrow night we're going to find out who they are. And if we do a scanning, it won't be anything that'll hurt you when I scan that. If I do find an implant, when I take it out, it doesn't hurt. It'll just be, it'll be taken out gently and we'll destroy it. That's what I do. So,
Okay.
well, that's one of the things I do.
Do me a favor though. Look at that video. Like I said, there's only one on Lucky Chicks because it's chicken videos, and I accidentally put it on there. But that's one of the best ones that I have. That's where they're physically walking out of that mirror. It is bizarre.
Wow.
It looks like haze. Maybe you can
I'll
see
have to
what they
check
look
that
like.
out. Yeah, I will
Yes.
definitely take a look at that. So I want to thank you so much
Appreciate it.
again. Give me your first name again. I'm sorry. Whoops, you froze.
Michelle.
Michelle. Okay,
Michelle.
I'll remember that. Everyone, I
sorry.
want to thank Michelle for
Trying to get where
coming
you guys
on
can
here.
see me.
Yeah, I want to thank you so much for coming on here and being brave to come on the show. We treat everybody with respect here. I run the show. I'm the host of the show. I've been on radio and TV for a lot of years, and we always respect our guests, and that's the most important thing here. So I want to thank you so much. We're going to have you back on
Thank
tomorrow
you.
night. We're going to deal with potential implant removals around you, and you'll be very, very happy after I do the implant removals. You're going to be extremely happy. I know that you do have some implants in you, and those things are going to be taken out. So I want to thank you for being here.
Thank
Okay, Michelle. All right, we're going to let you
Thank you very
down.
much. Appreciate it.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care of yourself.
All
All right, let me go here.
Thank
Let me
you.
do this. So, yeah, we have a little bit of work to do with her, and it's too late for me to do it now. Tomorrow night, I'm going to check out her page. She's new to the show. I'm glad she's here, and we'll help her. I want to thank all the people for gifting us. We had 115,800. Thanks. We've had about 4,100 people watch the show since 11 p.m. So I want to thank you all for being here. And the first video on our page, I'm going to check it out, Jordan. All right, everybody. I know I'm getting a little bit tired here, so it looks like it's time to call it a night. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. And we'll see you all tomorrow night. Much love to everybody. Take care. Thank you for the gifts. And I'm fading out here, so I better get out of here before I fade even more out. Please follow me on my bio. Press the follow button before you leave, and press the like button. The like button, the follow button, and a link to my YouTube page as well. Good night, everybody. Have a good evening or good morning, and we'll catch you again tomorrow night.